I'm gonna jump this fence on Grim's side so we can get a little cover.
Alright.
Pay attention, gang. Not far from the ring. We got 30
Ping them if you see them.
I don't see where they went.
They were under the construction site where I pinged, like the building that way.
This way.
They were on the close side. They were like shooting at me. All right, you want to just start moving
Sure.
Yeah.
Engage, or you
Nah,
just
yeah,
wanna
we'll move
engage
in.
now?
Second. Get to bamboozling.
I'm not really sure. Yeah, I don't know where they're at. I mean, I know what you said, but I don't see where they're at right this second.
I might hear people over here. Not sure. Unless I'm hearing you guys.
I'm in here with you.
Ring's moving.
We're both here with you.
You got bamboozled. Look at you.
He's
People are over here.
Check it over there.
people are shooting to our
Probably
left
down.
also. So you gotta be careful. We might end up getting
Oh
pinched.
shit.
Heavy ammo. Get that flat line here.
This looks like fun. Oh, look at all those boxes out there.
Oh,
All right,
okay,
I'm
yeah.
in creep mode.
All right. Creep mode engaged.
They might be above me. I'm not sure. I just hear them.
Yeah, there's one just
Oh yeah, I
jumped off
see them
over
running
here.
over there.
Making contact with enemy.
I haven't seen anybody inside yet.
Dude over there, but there's one closer to you too, Grim.
I'm throwing my ultimate at them.
Got the one closer to you.
Calling the airstrike.
Shit.
Heads up.
Yeah, bitch. Teamwork makes the
Teamwork
dream work.
does make the dream work. I hear someone shielding up out there.
Oh,
She
they're
was trying
upstairs.
to gold shield or something. Okay.
Just gotta patch myself up.
There's a new squad over here.
Alright, I'm ready. Get over here.
Yeah, they're in that building
I'm
over
with
there.
Yeah, right there.
Oh,
that's-
there's somebody in the
got
building
down.
we just came out of.
Yeah, I'm going upstairs. Wait. Oh, sorry. Oh,
In
shit.
here.
Wrong
Really
building.
hurt,
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm helping Joe. I don't want Joe to die. Okay.
See-
I'm
no,
coming
no,
behind you,
good in
Joe.
here.
We're both... Okay, we're coming. We're coming.
Oh, mother.
Oh, shit. I've got a gold knock. Oh, I didn't know you were fucking down, too. Oh, shit. I'm trying to get to where I can self-revive.
Man.
Oh, it ain't gonna happen. Oh, shit.
How many
Can't kill me.
were there? Was there still people outside?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know, but Joe heard somebody in
Yeah,
another
there was
building.
somebody who started shooting at
Oh,
us
yeah.
from the building that we just came out of. And then,
No, yeah.
yeah, and then there was another squad outside, which is who we just ran into.
Zip out of there, Zero, as soon as we get up. Ah!
I knew he was doing that. I was just like, why don't you just come fucking kill me, fucking asshole? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm trying to end the game, and he's like, ooh, I'll let him get almost revived, and then I'll kill him.
I mean, that was a pretty good impersonation, man. That sounded just like the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Just like him. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I gotta finish this clipperoonies. I need to cut it before the looting. No one wants to watch anybody do some victory looting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Boring.
We will defeat all of our enemies.
Yeah, you should make a clip that's just nothing but looting people.
Yeah, that's exactly what people want.
Like when you
Show
find
them
the
what the
best
game's
loot.
really like.
I'll be honest, that happens sometimes.
Or a gold loot special. It's like, oh, gold knockdown shield. Oh, gold body shield, baby. Oh.
I'm never that lucky, though, bruh.
Introducing your champion.
Science is precise, as am I.
So I want to start it where I throw the grenado. Because I think I get a knockdown with the grenado. Yeah, I do.
You want to do the train?
Sure.
Right below us. Jump, jump, jump.
Zero is the jump master.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Hold your breath.
I'm jumping into
you
the
have a
grass to the
respiratory
right of
system-
the train yard. Get ready.
Sounds like a swell plano. Zero was his name.
Go to that one.
Zero. Zero.
Firing. Grenade. Shot. Sending out my THICC.
Oh yeah. Where you, Grim? We can't hear you, bro.
Grim is far
I
away.
downed somebody, but I'm getting fucked up.
Yeah, where
Almost
you
died.
at?
Throwing arc star.
At the traino. I thought that was whole plano.
No, the
Yeah.
train yard.
Well, the train.
Oh no, I
train
said
yard.
we're
The train
Yard.
was the plan.
We.
Oh, so you guys went over to the train yard? Oh, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay, so it was
I'm
my
being
mistake.
chased
My
by
Yeah,
mistake.
so it was.
God damn.
Yeah, originally Grim said that, do you want to do the train?
Technically-
And I was like, sure. And
My
then
bad.
Grim's like,
Sorry, guys.
jump. I said, Zero's the jump master. And then Zero said, all right, I'm going to go to the train yard.
Oh, I got totally.
And I said, okay.
You know, in one way, this is my fault. In another way, I was looking at Facebook when I heard I was jump master. So, like, I don't know. I kind of want to blame it on Mark Zuckerberg.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, you want to move towards
Yeah,
them?
yeah, we can do that.
Sorry, guys.
That's, whatever, it is what it is.
Someone's gotta take out the new kill leader.
I got no.
Ah, fuck that
free-
guy.
It's like,
But I got sweet guns anyway, so.
Got bamboozled. Opening fire. Reloading.
You bitch.
Whoa, they just died.
You want to go through the mountain here, or whatever's closest?
yeah,
whatever's
whatever.
good.
You're ahead of me, so you do whatever you need to do. There's people shooting at the good old drill site, so I'm trying to avoid that and catch up.
I'll throw you a zip line.
Look at that zip, perfect.
Sweet.
One here.
Ring closes in a minute.
There's a purple vest over there. Someone wants it.
Oh shit.
You better dibs that shit, Zero, so it
The
don't
blue
disappear.
backpack.
Backpack here. Level 2.
Not too
Forget
far,
that.
but we should hustle, guys.
I could use that.
I dibs at it.
Oh, there's 2 more body shots for you. I'm still hearing more people somewhere. I killed 3 people so far.
Oh shit, I got somebody on me.
Shit, I'm coming.
Got one of them.
Oh shit. That's
Joe,
probably
it's
who I see.
Coming.
I'm coming. If you can just stall, I see them.
I'm just trying to.
They ran
oh,
this way,
shit,
behind
he's
this
burning
shit.
me. He's burning me.
Coming.
Yep. Where Grim's at? One of them's down. Unless I got him up.
Upstairs here.
I'm back.
Yeah, kid. Getting wrecked.
Ring's moving, bro. Keep the hustle.
Nice.
That must just have been the last one, because no one's
5 kills.
Dang.
I'm
got
just
the banner. Time to get a beacon.
sending them all to hell, bro.
Kill leader? Okay, please.
There's a revive thing pretty close to you there. 2 of them actually, but one of them's really close. Other way, Joe.
Yeah.
When you get done looting, there's a revive thing. Oh, and I need to run and get one of those purple body armors if we still have time.
I bet that care package has some sweet gear for us.
Oh, it's not even that far. Doesn't look like it on the map. That's Zero's thing
Oh.
we're taking shit from.
Drop that heavy ammo then.
Thank you.
I'm hearing somebody. Fuck it. Balls to the wall.
Yeah. As soon as you're in safety, you need to get me back
Yeah.
because it's
Alright,
a
I
minute
don't see him
and
yet.
15 till the
Good.
ring closes.
I'm doing it.
Oh yeah.
There you go, Joe. Here's the big thing there. Shield
Yeah,
cell.
I'll leave that for Zero.
Here I come.
Oh, thank you.
Oh shit, the fucking storm's coming. Shit.
Oh shit, I need my box so bad.
Right there,
Man,
in
where's
the
box at?
intersection.
There it is.
I can give you heals. I can give you heals.
All right.
Champion.
Yeah, it's only the first storm.
Oh shit, I only have 6 little ones. But I
Oh,
have
it's
3
so
big
fast.
ones.
It's such a fast storm.
That means
Okay.
we got far to go.
Yeah.
Is there more?
There wasn't
things there?
another purple
Is-
shield in these others, were there?
There's a blue,
I
I think. I don't know if there's a purple.
Yeah, there's at least
That's
a blue.
better
The
than-
purple ones, 2 purple
Yeah, I
I
got the
pinged
blue. I
were
got the
like
blue.
a lot further away.
Yeah,
Alright, I'm
screw that,
running.
yeah.
Zero, how many health do you have? You have enough to get there?
None.
You have
I
0?
got shields.
Alright, I'm gonna
no
drop
health,
some by this
yeah.
cave.
If you
Alright,
guys can
then-
drop us, yeah, just
Alright,
I'll
I'll drop
right
them where
behind you.
Joe
So.
does. What are you dropping, Joe? Alright, yeah, that should be good.
Yeah, it won't take
I'll
much.
drop a couple. Yeah, that's 3 syringes and a health kit.
Oh yeah, that's plenty. That's plenty.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
next ring's far.
Because it's right out here.
Here I go. 1 sec, healing up.
Oh shit.
Repairing.
Thought it was closer than that. I'm doing a syringe though.
There's a double tap.
Alright.
Just gotta patch myself up. Repairing.
Gotta heal. Taking a knee.
Oh, thought I was using the med kit. God damn, wasted.
Giving my shields a recharge.
I've got a couple of shield cells I can drop if you need
Nah,
them.
you.
I'm okay. Do you need any light ammo? I have 60 light ammo.
I've
Well,
got
here.
a lot of
Do you have
light.
Do you have a light gun now? I don't even have a light gun yet. I'm still running around with a shotgun, but
I got plenty
So,
of light, dude. I got
if
100.
either of you guys need this,
It's my
I got
secondary.
230.
I'll just
I got
look for
230,
some
I'm good.
later.
Well, I'll pick them up for now. I'll pick them up for now. And
Joe always with ridiculous amounts.
yeah,
I mean, that's maybe for my primary.
1 minute until close.
Is it your primary light?
Well, I don't have a primary. I use both guns that I carry.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I have like 600, so I could use some more.
People are, yep, people are here.
Somebody's here. I hear him.
Not
There's
too far.
boxes
Okay.
over there.
Hustle.
Right here.
Frag out.
yep. Up on top over here. I mean, over on that corner.
Ah, I'm burning them, burning the shit out of them, broke their shield. And there's still somebody up top.
Shit.
Reloading.
Bangalore's trying to thirst me.
One more.
Bangalore's
Up,
trying to.
fucked
Yep,
up.
she
I'm
thirsty.
dead.
Oh, there's a fucking not a bang, but a crypto. Oh, there are 2 of them up. Oh, I thought we had 2 of them down. Shit.
Ring's moving.
I'm dropping off the building because I'm getting naded. Oh, she followed me, you fucking slut.
Nice. And they're respawning somebody too. So they're gonna be a full squad.
Go grim stuff.
Real loot, I can hear them. Nice shooting.
Oh yeah.
Shit, I'm almost dead.
I'm about to time out too.
Are you about to come out? I got you. Did I finish him or
No.
no?
No, you didn't finish him. And his buddy got him up, but maybe he's still hurt. Oh, up top, up above you. Oh no! What? You were doing great though. Hell, you kill leader.
Look at that magic.
I don't know if I'll make it.
Oh shit!
I should have just ran in, used my ultimate, ran in. I thought I would have been able to pop one of these. Damn. Well, I tried getting you guys back.
Dude, you were doing great.
Phenomenal.
Damn, that that fucking video's funny.
Which one?
The dog in the pod.
Oh, yeah. Like, please, don't cook my puppy.
Yeah.
I didn't even get it till later. When I went back and looked at it, that it might be. And then after he steps in the pot, so I wonder if he's like, cook me instead.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah,
Right.
I figured he was just doing it to be like
I thought he was just blocking the
he's
pot.
blocking.
Like, no, you're not
Yeah,
putting it
that's
in
what I
here.
was
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah, that's
But
funny.
he looks all
But,
sad,
like,
so maybe he's like,
yeah,
cook
he
me
does,
instead.
dude. That like hurt my heart. I was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, is he gonna like what if he remembers now that his owner considered cooking his child? He's like, he never look at him the same way again.
Yeah. Bastard. We go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
This is gonna be fun, brother.
I'm gonna be a caustic for a minute here.
As am I.
Oh man, oh man, oh man.
This is your champion.
Okay, where do we jump? Blue train yard.
Landing in this yields a high probability for success. I feel most alive when rapidly approaching my
I
death.
jumped somewhere further away, but I know Grim's fast on the bathroom.
All right, let's do it.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna go to this one.
I'm going over here to this one. Seems like a lot of people are landing here.
Oh, gold scout for me.
Oh, somebody's zipping to you, Grim? Maybe two people? No, one of them's dropping.
I got knocked down. Shit.
First blood.
Got you, bitch.
Ah, not today, Satan.
Killed an enemy.
Who just got... Nope. Got gangbanged. Hey, there's a lot of ammo
There's
here,
a
Joe.
vest over there.
Not today, Satan.
I'm
Oh,
just healing because
There's somebody looting this
Oh,
box
oh,
with me.
shit, I didn't
That's
stop.
my box to loot, bro.
Oh shit, I'm
He's
coming,
dead.
bro.
He's dead. Don't worry about it. He's dead.
Where they at? Where they
Hell
at?
yeah. In their grave, because Joe...
Yeah, I came there for
Oh,
that
here's
light
another
ammo you told me about, and there's a dude looting a box.
Broke her shield. Break her shield. Yeah.
Take that shit, you bitch.
Soldier
Hell to the
applause, I'm the new
yes.
kill leader. Okay, you can clap now.
Oh, here, I don't
Oh,
need
fireworks,
here,
I hear.
take these.
Oh, I need heals real
Oh
bad.
yeah.
Yeah, I gave you
Real
all I
bad.
got.
Yeah, I picked up 2 of those syringes. I just dropped them.
Administering medical aid.
Oh yeah, no problem. Thanks. I know you
Alright,
didn't
there's
know I
a
was
vest
like
and a
3
hat
health.
over here. I could use some heavy. I only have 20 bullets.
I can give you
I
2
don't have
boxes.
any heavy.
Here you go, Grim.
I hear somebody.
Oh,
Over here.
somebody's coming towards you. Yeah, yeah.
I'm coming.
Coming,
I'm
Grim.
down the bottom. I gotta go up and around.
Oh, no,
Bitch.
no help needed.
Get out of here with all that bullshit, bro.
Has he got any heavy for you?
Ah, damn, you gotta take the gold stabilizer and shit out of here, too,
There you
man?
go. There you go. There you go. Wait. Do I not? No.
Okay, let's see. I have 2 syringes. Did anybody find any more heals yet?
1 sec, healing up.
And heavy? Yeah, I can use some of that. Nice.
Administering medical aid. Ring is in close proximity.
I'm stuck.
Here, I'll give you this remaining syringe you gave me here.
Ooh, thank you.
Trains coming? No? It sounds like it. Yes, train's coming.
Pay attention, gang. Not far from the ring. We
So
got
those
30
bins are
seconds
gonna pop
Hmm,
up.
maybe there'll be some cool guy vests on
Nah,
there
looks like it's
still.
looted.
Or at least the bins will pop up.
I don't see nobody.
Ring's close.
We'll do a quick check. Sometimes when it's looted, there's still like a vest pop. Yeah, I don't see shit. I did most of it.
Ring's moving.
Got a double tap if anybody wants it.
Standard stock here.
No,
want
I'm
it?
good. I got a, why am I stuck on? Oh. Because I'm just too big for that window.
Oh, there's a high onto it then.
Yeah, I guess it's the fireworks that I hear. 'Cause it always sounds like footsteps when I'm around here.
Yeah, that was getting me for like the longest time.
Oh shit, there's people here in the lower yard.
No shit, no shit. Kill
Oh
him.
shit. Oh, what?
Yeah.
Down by the respawn?
It's a lifeline. They might be by themselves.
Let me know if they climb up.
They're dead. Oh no, they're not by themselves. But their teammate's dead too. Or knocked down anyway. Somebody's flying in.
Somebody else
Oh, somebody's
flying
coming in.
far side. That is not me.
My shield for recharge.
Oh, almost dead, almost dead. There you go.
Yep.
Did you get him?
Vault keys, got a vault key. Yep.
Beautiful work. Beautiful.
I need heals if they're in that box.
Mm.
Yeah,
found
there
one
were some heals in
syringe.
here. Here, drop the there you go. I dropped the med kit at your feet though.
Oh,
Oh,
thanks,
there you
bro.
go.
Administering medical aid.
You guys want to run
There's
through
2
the
more
train tunnel?
syringes.
Well,
Some-
go
yeah,
ahead and
somebody's
take
Is
it.
flying
that
in.
somebody flying in?
Somebody's flying in.
They
Somebody's
landed
flying
up
in.
top.
Contact with hostile.
You got bamboozled.
I'm going a long way.
The
Oh, they're
fireworks
probably
are
just running
confusing
in
me.
the fucking walls right here.
No, no, here they
You
are.
found them?
By the tracks. 2 of them, 2 of them.
I can't shoot them through the fucking
And they're hitting me.
Yeah, 1 left. Yeah.
I'm gonna
kid,
die in the
get-
storm. I don't know. Alright,
No worries, brother.
that's my only
Good
syringe.
shit.
Where's these boxes at? Oh, I gotta kill him.
Yep.
Thank you. Oh shit, it's killing me. Oh my god. I'm gonna die again. The dome doesn't protect you
No.
from the storm.
Alright, I got a vault key, so I'm going to the vault. Oh shit. Yeah.
Can you get me up again? I got a syringe
Crawl
now.
in. I'm gonna.
Yep.
Thanks, Brent. Alright.
Healing my wounds.
Healing up. Give me a second.
Good shit.
Administering medical aid.
Gotta heal.
Ah, somebody else
Oh, where at? Where at?
behind me. I heard somebody. I think they were setting a portal or some shit.
Okay.
Administering medical aid.
Just gotta patch myself up.
They might have went to the top track part and ran in there. I'm not sure.
I'm
All I know
throwing
is I heard it
gas.
when I was coming in.
They got to come through these traps, so
Open the vault. Would be good.
or go around or something.
Open for business, brah. Who wants
Gold helmet.
Who wants some big
Helmet here.
purple helmet?
Level 3.
1 minute until the ring
Ooh, I could use
changes.
that. Here you go. Big these things. I got two.
Take one of
extras.
them.
And nobody wants to
I
go
didn't
helmet?
pick
you
up
can
both.
take
I'm dead. No, okay. Oh, go. Yeah, go for
I
it.
mean, does it help my ultimate too? That's the only thing.
Yeah, I
would
think it
really
charges
use for.
everything.
What is
Yeah.
it? Fast charge?
Yeah. Okay. All right, you ready?
Anybody got any spare light or
Yeah.
heavy? I mean, I got.
I can give you
enough
light. I need heavy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have
That's fine.
any.
Yeah,
I
that's
can
very
give you
helpful.
some too.
Thanks. That's good
Here.
for now.
Take it.
No, that's good for now. There's more.
You don't want to know how
Oh,
much
thanks,
light
mate.
I had.
Standard stock here. Gotta hop up here.
Okay.
Definitely some ridiculous amount. You know, I need throwables though. Ah, fuck. The wall's about to come. I'm gonna hit these bins and then just start
Alright.
running right in.
All right.
Fuck, I probably shouldn't even hit these bins. Shit. It's literally right here.
I think we got time.
Man, plenty of time.
Rings moving.
Oh, we don't have a
Keep
robot
hustle.
either. Shit. We just gotta run straight in. Okay, so you basically just have to make it to like there-ish.
Okay, yeah, it's not bad
Not
at
the,
all.
Oh, and it's not moving.
Yeah,
that
we got
fast.
plenty of.
Okay, we'll be alright.
not bad at all. Piece of cake.
I love these things.
I see an open door. Yeah, this shit's all been looted. I hear somebody.
Yeah, over I think to the.
Somewhere to my
Northeast.
left. I'm not exactly sure where. They're probably trying to run in. Ooh, damn, I
Oh,
need
now I
heavy.
hear
We got
shit to the
124.
Like through this next tunnel
Yeah.
somewhere.
That's what I was hearing. Through that hole.
You need light. You only have 124. You said.
I got a shitload
Right
of
here.
light myself.
Somebody's right there.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see-
Purpose shield.
yeah, one under here. Two of them. At least two of them. I see two of them. Got one.
Leave him to the storm.
Fucking storm. Oh,
There he is.
Okay, we're good. Storm one, kill one of them. Here's the other dude. Yeah, he down.
Damn. Oh, somebody's throwing grenades.
Okay.
I thought that was you.
Yep.
Shit, I stayed there for shit.
Shit, me too, but I didn't know it was.
Oh, his
Hey,
blood-
hey,
shit,
hey,
yeah.
guy.
blocked all those bullets. I need to heal up now.
Down to the
Two in the faces.
I need heavy super bad.
There's 290 heavy.
ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Oh, ridiculous heavy. Okay, cool.
Syringes, purple stock,
Yes. Also got none of them bitches.
3x,
Ooh, frags for days.
more light.
Alright,
Alright. Not doing
Yeah.
too bad.
we got a minute 13. And I guarantee there's boxes out in the storm that we couldn't even get.
There's a
Yeah.
U site up here.
Optics here. Close range.
Oh, I got used. Thank you. Oh, you gotta heal and
Yeah, I'm
start
healing. I'm
pushing
healing.
in so you don't get caught. Because this next storm will rape us.
Yeah,
Dropping
right,
5
right.
shield cells.
Shield cell here.
If anybody wants.
Oh, what about big ones?
I
I
have
got
one
two
big one. I just picked it up. I just dropped the little ones for it.
I'm gonna pick those little ones. I got no big ones, but those will be fine.
No.
Administering medical aid. 30 seconds. Ring's close.
I'm digging this gold scout. It's a bunch of fun.
Oh, you
Yeah.
got gold?
Yeah,
scout?
not bad, is
Oh,
it?
nice.
Yeah, I picked that up in the train yard. Over there. Somebody's zipping up to the.
Enemy spotted.
You see him?
They're zipping up to that
Contact.
platform.
Oh, up on that thing.
Target's right in front of me.
Right there, right there.
Contact with the enemy.
Shift the delta in. Frag out.
Oh, that thing. Okay. Oh, kid right here. Kid right here. Fucking me up. Fucking me up.
Coming.
He's fucking me up. Right there. No, no, don't.
He's
okay,
coming, he's
yeah,
coming, he's
no,
coming.
Okay, okay. Oh shit, oh shit.
Oh shit, the storm's coming.
Oh shit, the wall's coming in. Oh, but we're good. Where'd they go?
Behind that
You're
box,
good,
I
you're good.
think.
You're in the safe
I gotta
zone.
heal up.
Hostile.
They're shielding up, I can hear them.
Gotta heal. Taking a knee.
Yeah, I can hear footsteps and shit.
Shots fired. And they're hitting me.
Yeah, kid.
You
Getting
bitch.
hurt.
Revenging or whatever.
The full purple vest in here if somebody wants it.
Oh shit, there's no fucking. Oh, there is a revive thing. There's a. I can't ping it, but you can see it on the mini map. It's where Grim's facing.
Okay. I'm going for that. That's Zero's box. So you,
Oh, the last
that
two
was
squads
Zero's
are
box.
fighting.
You just looted.
We need to get in on that shit. Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, Zero's dead? Oh, I didn't even know. My bad. Oh, I only looked. I didn't see anything.
I think they're fighting over to the
Level 2.
north, but.
Well, I'm gonna bring you in.
Oh no, dude's in front of you. Dude in front of you, Grim, on the roof of that next building, the one you're approaching. You see him?
Oh, yeah, I see them.
Yeah, you might want to just fight,
Practice
guys.
it.
You may not want to
Yeah.
get me back.
Firing.
Oh, is he just crawling? No, he ain't
Did
crawling.
70
Oh,
on him.
Shit. Hell yeah.
Sending out my decoy.
Yeah, it may be risky to even get me back.
Too far. We should
Yeah,
hustle.
whatever. I'm bringing you back. You coming, Joe? Yeah, here. Bring you back. Yeah, so the
Yeah, I'll see
people on the
one
roof. You
dude.
saw where they
No.
were, Joe? Like, over there. They were on that roof creeping. I shot one dude in the face for 79 or 69.
Alright, we should escort him back to his box.
I don't know if we
the
got
box is gonna
time.
be in the storm. I don't know if that's.
Yeah,
the
maybe
idea.
we should just go in the building. Let's
I
just
would.
go in the building and I'll see if
There's a
I'm...
blue vest up here
10
and shit.
seconds. Right next door. Easy.
I'll give you one of my guns, Zero.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to climb up.
Grab the blue. Grab all that shit there.
Thanks, Brat.
Oh shit, we gotta move in. Here, here, take this scout. Here,
Oh,
let me
okay,
get a
okay.
little- let me actually
Whatever
get in
you
the
want, give
circle.
me it.
Okay.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Here, there's
Throw
some
that shit up.
ammo.
Oh wait, hold on. I need.
I'll
that
throw it.
Phoenix
What do you
kit.
want? What do you
I
want?
need that. I
Alright.
need that Phoenix.
Here you go,
kit,
here you
the
go.
Phoenix kit.
Oh, hell yeah. Thanks, dude. Oh, that's plenty. Thanks.
Okay.
Still two other squads. Where'd they go? Where'd they go?
Beginning ring countdown.
The dude up top might have been by
There's,
himself.
there's a
think it
lifeline
might have
care
been Tick,
package
I
over
think.
there.
Oh, shoot, mhm.
Care package over there.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah.
right there, you mean?
They're
Oh,
probably
wait,
hiding
I see,
in
I
this
see.
building.
Oh, there's an. It looks like there's an L star.
Door. Oh, they're probably gonna get.
There's an L
shot.
star in that If
Oh yeah. Oh, I'll take a fucking L star. Fucking right. I'm hearing them.
Ring's close. How about this?
Get back
I'm
here.
with you.
Oh, I was creeping. If you
They're
want to
on
that
the
way, I'll
tracks,
creep
I
behind
think.
them then. Yeah.
I do not see where they're at. I looked down the
45 seconds. Ring's not too
where
far.
Joe's
I'm in
at.
creep mode.
I
You
hear.
don't see anybody here?
Oh, they're
Oh,
fighting
maybe
out
they
here.
ran away.
Target over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over there. Do the scout shit. That's a hooked up scout, bro. Both of you got hooked up scout.
I got a 1x side on it though.
I just broke that Wraith shield.
Right.
I'm coming to it.
I'm throwing my ultimate at them.
Bring down some.
Where are these fools at? Aussie.
I ended it with my ultimate.
Oh, yeah.
Good shit.
Sweet. Oh, nice. Way to go, bro.
Nice.
I didn't even land a shot in that last battle. I was blasting at one of them, but it was all just to scare them, you know.
Dropping bombs on them.
Hell yeah.
Dropping bombs on them.
Bombs, dropping bombs.
How many squads were left when you dropped the bomb?
Yeah, they
Still two?
looked like they were still fighting.
The
Oh,
one
good game,
well,
guys.
the one robot was healing up, and I shot him for. Oh, why won't it let me do death recap? Oh well, I think it was like
630?
160, and then
Noise.
yeah, we all tore
Yeah,
it
James.
out.
Good night, buddy. It's
That
been
was-
real.
Alright, I'm gonna take a
Give me
I'm gonna
just-
take a smoke break. So
Alright, I'm just-
you guys can play a game if you want.
Come
but
on, James.
I'm
You gotta
back
go.
All right, I'm running.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the
bathroom.
same.
Be right back.
Yeah.
BRDOs. See me go. Oh.
Yeah, I'm back. Oh, are you still going, Joe?
Alright, I'm back. Oh.
All right. I guess we need to back out.
Okie dokie.
I'll just join you. Oh, it's saying party full. What the what? What? Can you invite me?
No.
Damn it.
Like,
I can only invite her and inspect you, and there we go. Excellent. What you gonna do with your other monitors? Just nothing, no plans
nah,
yet?
if I could set them all up, I would love to. I don't know that I can. I don't know if I think I have 4 outputs on my graphics card, but I have a feeling like I tried that, or when I was setting them up originally, and one of them doesn't work. I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, maybe just the software only supports 3 or something.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Is this? Have you got 2 graphics cards or 1?
2, but one's like an integrated one, and then I have a NVIDIA GTX 960 some shit.
With 3 outputs?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's 4. I'm pretty sure there's a HDMI and then 3 like display ports. I'm
yeah,
pretty sure.
Yeah, I've got a couple of NVIDIA cards, and I think it limits it. I don't think you can use all the outputs on both cards at once.
Well, I'm not using any outputs on the
It may be limited to
integrated
3.
one.
I don't know.
I'm only using the NVIDIA.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that would work on the integrated one.
Here we go! Hang tight!
Are you saying the NVIDIA one has 3 or
4?
Oh, you said 3, right? 1 HDMI
Yes.
and 3 display ports.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean 4. My bad.
But I'm pretty sure one of the display ports doesn't work. So I'll have to double check it, but because I'm all about monitors, like all the monitors. Because like you can
Hell
get them
yeah.
so cheap now. Like you can get a used monitor like $10 off Facebook.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Have a big ass
Yeah.
wall.
Good night, babe. I love you. 6:30.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
If you're free, Opie.
I will.
You rolled up the carpet again.
Dibs!
He rolled up the
You
carpet.
rolled up.
Oh, okay.
That was really stupid. My eyes are really irritated.
Using a hand soap.
Yeah.
Bad guy over there.
Can I know
Joe, were you trying to ping that
No,
long?
I will. Good night. No, I was not pinging the long ball. I was pinging the choke.
Okay.
The chitty choke. Alright, I got a free OP. I'll be right back.
All right.
You're free, numbnuts. Oh, I hear shooting.
All right, I'm moving back towards you.
Gotta hop up here. Choke.
Oh, I got a blue
Oh,
backpack if you want.
yes.
Fire.
Disengage them.
Yeah, I think he was shooting the loot thing. What up?
Yo, Grimp.
Ooh, gold in the Apex pack. Let's see what it
Mozambique
is.
skin.
Legendary Longbow.
Just
skin.
as good.
It's cool looking. I finally
Oh, somebody's
used the
shooting at me.
longbow.
All I
Okay,
have is
coming.
shotguns.
Wait,
I'm in,
where
like,
you
the
at?
train
Where you at?
station.
Okay, I see.
1 minute until the nearby ring closes.
Dropped the wrong shotgun.
Helmet here. Level 3.
Ring's not far.
Man, I haven't found an armor yet. That's fucking lame.
Fucking lame.
Armor down here.
Body shield here. Level
Oh,
1.
thanks.
Flatline here. 30 seconds. Ring's close.
Yeah, I hear somebody.
Yep.
I think he's outside in the street. On the south side. Yep, hear it. Shit. He's hurt real bad. Yeah.
Should we go down
there's
zero?
another one. Yeah.
Oh, there's fucking all three of them are here. What is our teammate doing?
Oh, where is our teammate? Oh, he's coming toward us. He's actually making an effort. See what he does here. He's got the island attitude.
Hostile right here.
And they're getting our buddy up. So there goes that kill.
Reloading.
Well, he was pretty accurate for not letting off the trigger on the Prowler the whole time. But... No, he's pretty inaccurate.
Contact with target.
Dude, I thought he was about to down all three of them. Those kids were just like lining up in a row for his bullets.
Like ducks in a row.
Oh, yeah.
That's sucking on some snow.
Alright, Grim, we're out of it.
Okay. I am coming.
You want to play ranked a minute? You want to play no
Oh
ranked?
yeah.
Congratulations to me.
Yeah, I'm not against it.
I won.
See how we do. When we last left our heroes, we were getting pretty far up in the gold.
Yeah, I forgot all about the Rankos. Gold 4. I'm almost gold 3.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, well, pretty high up in the gold for yeah.
I'm
Yeah, 55
163
points.
away from gold 4.
Yeah,
or
we're
3.
all approaching.
Shit, so who do I play in ranked?
31, 37. What do you guys have?
3281. So,
Oh damn! So you only need 29?
yeah.
Look at you, bro.
19. Yeah.
Me math
Me
good.
fell math that impossible.
So, you know how what's his face? One of the young bucks is doing that cheating thing, dashboarding or whatever,
No.
where you don't lose rank because
Oh,
somebody
yeah,
leaves,
yeah,
but
yeah.
they don't get a timeout because of the way they leave.
KSA there.
It's called dashboarding apparently, and supposedly Apex is gonna. They're aware of it and they're gonna punish the people that do it. I guess strip their rank. Or
Might
something.
just ban them.
They didn't say, but they said they're.
Ban them completely.
I don't know if they banned them because they were doing a glitch that, like, you know, Apex. It's kind of their fault that you could do it, you know. So, but it's still not sportsmanlike. But I don't think they'd ban them. I think they're just gonna punish them somehow.
Well, the Division did that. There were exploits for different things, and they knew about it, and they made a statement that, like, if you're caught doing it, like, we know it's in the game, we know that it's there, and if you're caught doing it, you're banned. I think it was like
What were some of the exploits?
there was one.
Remember?
The big one was there was, I think, the first incursion. You could get to, like, somewhere that was, like, off of the map, and you couldn't be hurt, and you could, like, shoot through the wall or something. So you could like see the enemies and like shoot through the wall and kill them, but you couldn't be hurt. So like that was one.
Remember the police station one where we would set up a barricade
Yeah.
and roll through at the end and just finish it?
Yeah, I miss playing Division. They were good times.
The second one just wasn't as
Yeah,
good.
no,
I
I
feel
think
like,
the
as
setting.
first one. It had
Yeah.
a different feel to it. It wasn't like as, I don't know. It just felt more like they backtracked with their graphics and the
Yeah.
feel of the
The
game.
first one, there was a lot of firsts with the Division 1. First game where you could shoot through like car windows and the car would block the bullets. So like it wasn't just programmed as like a wall, it was actually two separate things.
Oh yeah. Programmed to actually like the frame of the car or whatever.
Wait a minute. Oh, go ahead and finish, and then I'll question your statements.
Nah, you ruined it. You ruined it. I don't even
There
wanna know what
was
it was.
it was the first game that was like actually like other games were supposedly in America in different cities. That was the first game that was like legit like in like a American city, and it was, I mean, because like all other like shooting games especially would be like the desert somewhere, you know what I mean? It'd be like some modeled after like, I don't know, the Kuwait war and shit or whatever. I mean, sort of like Desert Storm, sort of like, and this was like inside an American city. You were actually like doing battle, which is pretty big for me, and it felt very claustrophobic. I mean, as it was designed to. And that was one of my concerns. I thought that even when they announced that it was going to be in DC and it was like different environments, I thought that that would be a problem, because I thought that being in New York was a huge benefit for it.
Yeah.
So good, you question my
I
shit.
definitely liked it. It was different when it first came out.
What? Do you know when the Division came out?
2003?
Oh, maybe so. Okay,
No,
I'll
I
have
don't
to
know. It
check
wasn't
something, but
2003.
Right now, people are firing at us.
Uh,
We can check it. I'll check it when we're done with the game or something, if I remember. The only reason I'm saying is because, like, I think it was in Grand Theft Auto 4. It may have even been one before that. There's specifically a mission where you're assassinating a dude, and you have to shoot him through the car window as he drives off. And I know in one's, I believe GTA 4, it's not just one mission. You can shoot people through windshields and shit, and you can shoot people maybe in ones before that, but that's not exactly a first-person shooter game either. So, I mean, in a way it is, in a way it's not.
damn! I can't crawl out.
Okay, you in safety. There we go.
You are fortunate we are on the same team.
Thank you.
Bro. So, did they?
Yeah, they're
zip
zipping
over?
over now.
Somebody's here.
Yeah.
God damn. They're right here. Hit him like maybe twice with a scout. Oh, now there's two of them.
God. Wow, what the fuck was that? This Watson put up a fence around my body so like I couldn't crawl out and I'd get killed when I crawled out of the fence. And it was quick too.
She fancy hoe.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
playing ranked.
There go 24
Alright.
points.
Oh.
They go bye-bye. Opie, get out. Get out. You're not allowed under the desk. Get out. 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 You're not allowed under the desk. Keep going. Keep going. Over here. Opie. What are you fucking sniffing? Come on. Over here. There you go.
Yeah, GTA 4 came out like 3 years earlier than it, but it's not really. GTA 4 is like a third person. You can aim down sights with sniper rifles, but it's a third person shooter, so. And open world game, so it's not really the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that those guys fucked us up. I guess we gotta
Now you see me, now you don't. Now you
remember to stay tight.
Stay tight like
more
a-
so than otherwise.
I'm not gonna go there. I was about to. And then I realized
Yeah.
I am broadcasting this out to the world. And I'm gonna keep my pedophile jokes
Yeah, exactly.
to myself.
Introducing
By the time you see me coming, I'll be going, and you'll be gone.
Alright, let's do a ranked train yard. Oh, it's going to be hot and heavy. We gotta fucking be on our game.
I'm ready. I'm on my game.
hold your breath.
I'm gonna land in the second bin on the right side.
Okay, I'll land in the first
I
one on
think
the
it is
right.
right here. I can't really tell.
Yeah, same thing happens
Kinda
to me,
looks
but
like it.
you're
Yeah, I
right.
think I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I bounced off. Okay. Ooh.
So nobody landed up top.
Yeah,
of me?
land on the bottom. No gun yet. This is not cool. Here we go.
Body shield here. Level
I hear zipping.
Is that you, Grim?
That's me zipping about. Zippity doo dah.
Doo-dah.
Zippity day.
I don't have enough energy bullets.
Oh god, what am I full of? Ugh. Anybody need heavy?
Not yet.
I could use a box.
That's 54. I don't have a heavy gun yet.
No, just
I
keep
dropped
it.
it.
Just
I was
keep
gonna
it.
drop it off the edge.
Alright, yeah, I just picked up my Spitfire so I can use some heavy if Zero don't want it. Or if Zero wants it.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
got
I have
60,
60
so-
also. I'm good.
No, and here's some.
Okay, yeah,
here's
there's some over here I'm picking up as well. I'm gonna drop in.
I did find heavy gun, but there's a box of heavy there. I don't know, I can use the box.
Somebody's grappling. Is that you, Zero?
That was me.
Okay.
Use a cool light gun.
There was a 45. Okay, there's still a 45 there.
Yeah, I got a 45. I don't really like the 45 anymore.
That game that I was tearing it up, I had an alternator and a the Gold Scout. Train's coming in.
Yeah, there's the train.
I'm coming toward it.
Train looks looted.
Yeah, not a single thing left.
Here's come the bins. Here come the train bins.
Oh yeah, I got the left one. Come on, Opie. You don't need to climb on my chair. Come on, get down. Get down, Opie.
Is everything here looted?
I think so.
Station?
I think so, yeah. You want to move through the vault tunnel or go around the mountainside or what?
I don't care.
Ooh, the cool guy vest just chilling here.
Noise.
Keep eyes on the new kill leader.
Hey, Gibraltar, I need it.
Extended heavy mag here.
Blue heavy mag.
Could use that. I'll be dropping a level 1 heavy mag if you need it, 0.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Oh, I need a select fire. I got a prowler. Only really want it if I have a select fire.
Extended heavy mag here. Level 1.
It's me no good without it. Me terrible.
What'd you say you needed, Griff?
Select fire.
Oh, yeah.
I say we move this way.
I'm trash with burst or single fire guns. Ew.
What?
I'm telling you
Oh, I
what,
think
Lucky.
it's got a vault. No, it doesn't.
Got a cargo bot.
Incoming. I love loot.
Decoy.
Sniper stock here. Shotgun bolt here.
Yo, I heard more
Optics here. Close
gunfire.
Yeah,
At
back there for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't see them. I guess.
me neither.
range. New kill leader.
No.
So there's a key in there?
No. Damn, I need some sights.
There was a 1 to 2, I think, in there.
Oh,
Oh, here. I can give you this 1 to 2 off my own. No, take it.
No, it's fine.
Take it.
No,
I
I'll
don't
just
need
wait
it
till
on
we-
the alternator. The alternator's just got good stock sight.
Alright. Thanks.
there you go.
appreciate it.
Even better, 0.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, I'm going up to the tower.
Ooh, select fire, motherfucker.
The bins by the cave are
You
not
say
looted.
and make my day.
And that bin's not looted over there either.
Watching
Oh, there's
that
a
clock.
scout. Do I want the scout again? I was.
Well, the wall's closing in, so people are probably gonna be pushing towards us because we're right on the edge.
Okay.
The scout last time.
Someone's getting brought back, further back behind us.
Barrel stabilizer here. Level 1.
There's 2 little shield cells. Somebody wants them.
Thermite grenade.
Granny stick.
Extended heavy mag here. Level 1.
Coming through the tunnel. Coming through the tunnel.
Yeah.
It's a whole squad.
We probably need
Yeah,
to
yeah.
storm now.
Oops.
Oh, I'm getting
Crawl
fucked up,
towards.
guys.
Crawl towards.
You gotta help me. I'm burning the shit out of them. One of them's down. One of them's down. Another one's getting. They're getting. They'll shoot you. They will shoot you. Oh no. They will shoot you.
I don't even see anybody.
They're in the cave still. I threw my
one was
ultimate to
down,
keep them
another one was
pinned in
hurt real
there.
bad.
Charging
They're
shield.
probably just gonna die in there.
That's,
1 second.
we can only hope.
Frag out.
Shit, they're firing at me. I'm crawling toward the ring. I'm crawling toward the ring.
Oh, somebody's jumping towards us.
Yeah. Just don't let them free. Don't let them free.
Where
One
is he?
over there.
What the fuck?
It's unacceptable to let them beat us, guys. It's fucking
Nice.
unacceptable.
Got bamboozled. Look at you. Give him
Another one's coming. Another one's
The
coming.
other guy. Yeah.
Nice.
Just relax. I got everything under control.
Good shit.
Rings close. One more
Boy, that was intense.
Thank you.
I don't know how they fucking live.
I got you.
It was
I ran
fucking
out of
the
heavy
first
bullets.
ring. Well, I mean, yeah, I was just saying, I threw a Bernie stick in there, and you should have seen the fucking Bernies going up from it. It was like, bam, 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 bam. It was like,
That's
Bernie's
super nice. I really enjoy that. When you're burning somebody.
Bernie, 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 Bernie everywhere.
I'm like stuck on this rock.
Pass myself up.
Ooh, a 99. Finally something cool.
If you see any heals, well,
God, there was like a shitload of heals in these boxes, man.
I
Well,
dropped
I
the
mean,
U
Here, I
site.
just put 2
Shield, but-
syringes in here,
Just dropped the U site in here.
and I also put a 1 to 2 in here. All right, we got
I
5
got-
seconds. You guys need to heal up, and we need to roll.
Okay, there's
There's
two
a U
syringes.
site. Nobody needs a U site.
Okay, hey,
I do.
no,
but,
I'm good.
I missed it. I don't want to get burned. I'm just gonna run in. Ah, it's not
throws a
even that
zip at the
far.
top of the hill.
I think we'll make it. The people
Oh,
fighting
yeah, okay.
like
Yeah.
right around that shit.
Healing up. Give me a sec.
We can slide right under these tracks.
Incoming care package. I love
Hopefully be cool. I see people further up there. I hear people over there too.
Yeah, they're being brought back.
They're bringing somebody back. If there's somebody on the other side
Zero,
of the
you
wall.
need to heal up. Do you have syringes?
Okay. I don't
got
have
you.
anything to heal with.
Yeah, meet me in the
Okay,
hole. Meet me in the hole.
What'd you say? Okay.
Syringe here.
There's
I hear
somebody
people
right
above
here.
us.
Extended light mag here.
Right up here. Right up here is Gibraltar. How did I get caught in that? Shit. I'm almost fucking dead. Goddamn. Right up where I was trying to go. Shit.
Come here, bitch. He's hurt bad. He's hurt bad.
There's a Watson in the elevator shaft, like crawling up the wall.
Yeah, broke her shield.
There's somebody on like the 3rd floor.
Where'd she go? Where'd she go?
I don't know where they went.
I'm with you.
I'm
I'm
coming.
with you. I don't see him.
Where the 3rd floor?
And there's a Watson.
Oh, they jumped off. They jumped off somewhere. Oh, where the fuck are they? There's another squad attacking. There's another squad attacking.
Yeah,
Damn.
I'm dead. Fuck.
Give me my shields to recharge.
I'm dead too. Motherfucker.
Somebody right
Those
here.
grenades are gonna fuck me.
We're in a serious battle, Tristan.
Taking damage over here.
They're getting their teammate up right here.
Yep.
Right here. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, right here.
Oh,
shit.
3rd guy came from somewhere.
That was
God
good
damn.
though. Shit, we were number 8.
Shit was
It's
rough.
been a while since
Oh
we played
yeah,
ranked.
so we probably weren't negative, right?
I think I was still negative on it, but it was just like negative -4. It didn't even.
Well, that's because
Didn't
you
even
got
make an
such a
impact.
shitty attitude.
I'll be. Yeah. If I'd had a positive attitude, it would have been
Yeah.
+4.
Exactly.
Well, good for you, Tristan. Yeah, I'll be right back too. Be
Yeah.
right back.
What up, Trish? What up, T-Dog? What's happening? Yo, what's going on? Let's see. What do I need to buy? What? I feel like I need this caustic skin and this prowler skin, but I don't want to drop $18 on that shit. Yeah.
Yo.
Yo, that caustic skin that looks like Scorpion.
Is mechanic what, Tristan?
I can't hear him.
Yeah, I think he's been talking.
Yeah, I
to
can't
you.
hear Tristan.
You
Oh.
can't hear Tristan? Oh, because he's asking if you're AFK. Oh, wait.
You
Joe,
probably
what?
got him muted on
Tristan?
accident, Tristan.
You don't like Tristan? Oh, wait. And Tristan said Joe's a bitch? Oh,
No, I did
alright,
hear-
I'll relay the messages
Yeah.
to
How
both
you
you
gonna
guys.
be like? How you gonna follow him and call him a bitch?
I did hear him.
You had mechanic muted? Ooh, damn. That's why you couldn't hear each other. That's fucked up. Oh shit.
Yeah, no, it's
That's what Kim said to what's his face.
it's not mute. It's got like a exclamation point with a triangle.
Can you hear him now?
No, I thought I heard him, but it was real quiet. But I only heard like 2 words.
Wait,
no.
so you still can't hear him now? Because he's saying he didn't realize, but he had you muted.
No.
Maybe you've got
So you
him
can't
muted
hear him
too.
now, still, Joe?
No. What?
They both
What
got
is
each other
going on here?
muted.
Why is this?
You know, I was muted myself the
there
other
you
day, and I
go.
didn't mute
Oh
myself.
shit! Okay. All right, now
What, you can hear each
Yeah.
other
Just
now?
go to your party.
I just heard him say, "There you go."
What'd you change, Tristan? You still had him muted? You never unmuted
no,
him?
I didn't change anything. It was on
Yeah, I
the
don't
side.
know.
Then why'd you say there you go and then it worked? I feel like you had his
No,
shit
I didn't do
muted.
anything. It was mechanic.
I have no
muted
idea what that
him.
was. Cause I heard him say some shit. I heard a little bit, so I don't know.
So now you guys can talk shit about each other.
Yeah, so now we don't
see each
need
other's
you
faces. Now you can hear each other.
Yeah.
to be the memo.
I don't have to
man.
relate.
Alright, I'm ready. I'm sorry for holding you up. I'm ready. Let's do this. Let's do this.
No, I want to play limited time mode. Armed and dangerous.
Yeah, I am not a fan of that.
Yeah, I want to get the magma skin.
The which
Magma.
game?
The magma skin for the R3.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
For the R301. What, did you win that from
Yeah.
the
yeah, it's one of
thing?
the challenges.
Yeah.
I didn't notice any 301 skin.
Pretty good at this.
I got it.
You get it by getting points, right? The point system
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's one.
Yeah.
You get it for
Yeah.
one of the.
I might even have it then. I think I'm up to
Challenges.
like, I don't know. I only need a little bit.
Don't worry, it's easy.
100 or 500 maybe. I don't know. Some shit.
I do.
Oh shit! I'm gonna let one of you guys be jump master.
Man,
I'm tired of that shit.
more
The pressure. Let's
responsibility
go
than
somewhere like real laid back since we're doing rank.
Thought we could land here.
All right.
This is
Sounds
R301 skin just like
Yeah, I
really
like it.
cool.
Hang tight.
We should land close to each other. Y'all want to land
Yeah.
right back? There's
All right.
a bin.
We're
I
in
usually
capital
land behind
city.
the bin, and then there's a pile on the left, pile on the right, pile in the middle.
Land train.
We're going.
City.
We're
gonna
going
land behind the bin.
Mirage Voyage.
No guns.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
Seeing
someone just
anybody?
pushed the button up here.
Yeah, dude jumped off. I hear gunfire.
There's a 301. Grab that
Oh, there's
301.
There's a wraith over here
Okay.
shooting me in the
Alright.
face. There she is.
I just put her out. You killed her. Ed.
Somebody else is coming.
Yeah, who's firing it? Who?
Yeah.
Joe, let's join Grim so we won't get. Oh yeah,
Oh,
somebody's up
I
here
got
with Grim.
played. I did 60 to her.
Oh, in the
I'm
ballroom.
coming. I'm coming.
Got
I
her.
was looking that way.
Yeah, I see them. I'm missing all my wingman shots.
Yep.
Broke the shield. I'm about to die though.
Another one. Yet another. God damn.
Recharging shield.
Oh, we're getting him up. We're getting him up. Oh shit.
Yeah, well,
With
quick.
somebody else.
Yeah, robot's hurt.
Yeah, I emptied
Oh,
like 3/4 of a 45 clip into him, and then he still called me a bitch.
Yeah, there were two of them. Yeah. Well, there were two of them attacking you.
Yeah, it was rough.
At least one of us got a kill. Wait. Oh no, I didn't yet. Okay, never mind. Thought I got
Yeah, you
robbed,
thought you had
but
a
I
kill.
didn't.
You thought you had a
Rob myself. No, I put somebody out. and I
Grab
was like,
yourself.
why didn't I
Yeah,
get an
you did put
assist?
down the other race.
Because I didn't even help put her
Someone
out. I put her out, but I didn't help put her down.
Mm-hmm. Well, you put her down, but you didn't put her out.
Well, Joe
She
put
was
her down. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I put her down in that
second one.
sense. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know who did it.
Somebody did something and I didn't get anything for it. That's all I know.
I smeared blood on a white
Oh, you're talking about the first
Bronco.
one?
We
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I downed that one, and then you killed them, and then somebody else down the second one, top of steps, it down me. Then all these motherfuckers came to join the party.
I just know I'm losing points and we need to be gaining.
Well, don't listen to Grim when he's like, let's go to Mirage Voyage.
Ramp it up. Ramp it up.
That's a bad idea.
Well, we could have got mad points if we killed everybody, though.
Yeah, it just
feel like could've been
depends on which
possible.
way the scales tip.
I just was, I was looking down the ship, and then somebody just shot me on the side of the face. So I was trying to line up my sights down the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a close thing. It was so hectic that I didn't really know. I should have picked up some light ammo and got my 301 back out, but I didn't know how close the kids were to attacking, so I kept my prowler out.
Hmm.
3 words: win and win again.
Good old Prowler.
Yeah, and it wasn't doing bad, but when you only got 4 shots, I mean, you're going and you fuck
Then you
up,
gotta
you're
reload.
hurting. Yeah, you got to hit every shot.
You know, someone just liked my that picture that I made. It was your idea, Grim, that how to catch an apex predator with Chris Henson. Catch an
How to
apex
what?
predator
How to what?
with Chris
Oh,
Henson,
yeah.
or whatever his name is. Yeah, I just got a like on. That was August. I posted that. I just got a like on Instagram. Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Oh,
Yeah.
somebody's going through your shit and look at it.
Here we go. It's a long drop. Fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna go for the the left bin closer to us.
Okay.
Closer or further away?
He said he's
This one.
All right.
Might be something good this way.
By closer,
the further one.
Closer.
Like clearly, I mean this one that's on the other side of.
Auto shield here. Level 1.
Beginning ring countdown.
All right, lucky us. We're already inside this next ring.
Do I want to?
Whoa, I never noticed that above the party boat, between it and the fireworks, there's a giant hologram of
He's on the boat.
Mirage.
Yeah. He's a giant hologram.
Oh,
Well, no,
there's-
above
yeah,
it,
there's
between...
huge- when you hit party,
Yeah, there's a
big
humongous
ass
one,
things
as
come
big
out.
as the boat. Oh, okay. That's what's up. Somebody hit the party button over there, okay.
Optics here. Close range.
But yo, is this a glitch though? Guys, look at the party boat right now and see if you don't see this. Above the boat, between it and the fireworks, there's like a gigantic fucking Mirage upper body with his arms out, like as big as the boat.
Oh yeah, I see him. I don't know.
I've never noticed that before.
Alright, so I pinged a flatline and a blue knockdown shield over there. Where'd that USIC go? It disappeared. I thought I called dibs on it. Did you pick it up?
I didn't notice the ping. No, I
it's
didn't.
over here. It's in one of those things.
I'm pretty sure I definitely dibs it.
I didn't pick up. I don't have a knockdown shield.
Here.
Oh yeah, shit, I made it. Ah. Oh fuck,
Oh,
I'm
here's
not
a
gonna get
knockdown
it.
shield.
Nah,
God
he's talking about a U
damn.
site.
Devotion here.
Oh, I don't know. I've got a use. I don't know if it's the one you pinged.
Probably, 'cause I don't think it would.
You can have it.
Don't worry about it. I got one.
There also was a circle site somewhere too.
That sucks. I missed that 301.
Where was the 301? I don't have a
One of the
301.
bins, but it was like so far.
Oh, yeah.
fucking went back in the ship. I couldn't even get
What
to it.
guns do you got? What do you got to trade for a 301?
I got RE45.
Oh, here, the 301 over here.
So I'm keeping the flatline.
So if you come pick this up, yeah, this is the magma skin that Tristan was talking about.
Now I think about it, I might even have it. I might just not be. I might like mine better. I don't know. I can't remember. I feel like I would have it.
Here's another use in the train tunnel.
That's sweet. Thank you. Do you have room to carry it back? In case we don't go that way.
I think so.
Oh, yeah, I have this magma.
Magma.
I was picturing it looking more like lava or some shit.
What does it look like?
It's like multicolored. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Like pink and
Oh, I'll actually take
red
that.
and orange.
I just dropped a fucking thing out.
So you want to run down this train tunnel? Oh, I got a flatty.
I don't know if the Joe's doing one.
I'm happy with my guns.
Did somebody get that flatline and blue knockdown that I pinged?
Yeah, I did.
Care package coming in.
Oh shit! Somebody shooting at me from the vault tunnel.
I'm on my way.
Well, that's unacceptable.
On my way, bro. On my way. I got.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh, I got raped by like a turbocharged fucking Havoc.
Making contact with enemy.
Look out, grenade.
Shit. I'm crawling towards the
just broke
stairs.
somebody's
Crawling
shield.
toward cover.
Bet they were not expecting that shit.
Contact with hostile.
Shots fired. Yeah, they're hitting me. Throw my grenade.
Well, I'm almost dead. They're fucking burning to death.
Give him my shield. Faking him out with a decoy.
I'm going for 0.
Gotta patch myself up.
Alright.
I got you, brother.
Thank you.
Up top.
Oh shit! I hit him a couple of times. The top one.
Oh, no!
There's one right here.
They all came through here. Fuck, man.
I got a bad guy.
The enemies are shooting
Shit.
me. I am down.
They're both over here.
One's right coming up the stairs. One's coming up the stairs.
Contact with hostile. Contact with target.
I should have healed, but I really didn't know if that was best or if I should have just started shooting. So I shot.
Shield up.
What? Whoa!
Hell yeah,
That's
Joe.
another squad.
Oh no! You were on the edge.
A new squad came and poked me in the backside.
I was worthless there, but I wish I'd looked at my death recap. This kid just whipped out a Havoc and was like, and I was fucking dead. It must have been turbocharged, and it was from far away too.
it'll
That's
do
what
it.
really. I was like, what the what? Tristan, you still with us, bro? I see myself echoing through his mic.
No. Yeah, I've been hearing mad echo, so maybe it's because his headset's off. I don't know.
Yeah, you can see the indicator popping up.
You ready, Joe?
Nope.
Ready, Joe? Nope. No, Joe must have went AFK. I can't hear him anymore, and he can't hear me.
I went F.
So, how? I feel like he definitely did something though. 'Cause he's like, "Oh, there we go," and then they could hear each other. I'm like, "What'd you do?" He's like, "I didn't do anything. Must have been Joe."
Yeah, before he said that, he said that he had
He
either
had him
muted Joe or something. Yeah,
I thought he
But
fixed
then
it. So maybe
Joe,
he
I don't know.
thought he
It's
unmuted
very
him, but
confusing.
I don't know.
I find myself caring about it less and less the more we talk about it.
See, for me, it's like with every game, that's all I can think about, and I'll probably not sleep tonight thinking about.
Did Tristan
why
mute Joe? Did Joe mute
Who
Tristan?
the fuck muted who? Oh,
It's like General Hospital or some shit.
so many questions, so little answers. Tristan bangs Joe's brother, and they're pregnant with Tristan's mom.
I mean, that is definitely a soap opera story if I've ever heard one.
Make this look good. Literally.
Oh, Tristan just got banned from Xbox because his mom heard that comment.
Maybe he wasn't allowed to play Apex because he'd play with us and cheers.
You talking to these weird American 30-somethings.
She probably saw the stream and she's like, why are you playing
She
with these
probably saw
old
the stream
American
where I made
motherfuckers?"
those very uncomfortable cum jokes over and over again.
She's like,
that's
it's
why.
like it's now
That's me.
come eat your bratwurst and Vegemite lunch. That's a little joke, Tristan. Your mom is a fine lady.
I'm sure she is. She's probably a pretty sweet lady. But you know what? Most moms are pretty sweet ladies.
They are.
Not mine though.
Knockdown shield
my
over
mom
here.
went
Oh,
and had
and
like a
vest.
child that like she didn't tell anybody about.
Alternator. Stop making stuff up, Joe. That's not
Did you
real.
ever? Did you ever get to meet your?
No, I don't know that I want to.
No.
The stuff he posts on Facebook makes me.
Oh shit, the ball's just like flying through the shit, and there's a vault key on it.
Level 2.
Shot a cargo box. Tell your friends.
Yeah, the stuff he posts on Facebook.
Standard stock here.
We
Oh, is it all damn
no,
Jews
we
or
just have
something?
different views on things.
Damn, I don't have nearly enough room to pick up this shit. I guess I could drop.
And I'm okay with like having different views, but like you know how like people who like live in a bubble. I'm not saying he necessarily lives in a
Sure,
bubble,
sure.
but like
Oh,
No,
like
but I
his-
hear you though.
his Facebook
Yeah, goddamn John
rhetoric is
Travolta.
very bubble-ish. It's like him and a bunch of people that like.
There's another thing.
No, I know what you're saying.
Ah, what? Ah, didn't shoot.
On blue.
Shit was definitely something else.
Extended light mag here.
Oh shit. Yeah, I could actually use that.
Oh shit!
I need a
Here,
bag.
you can have
It's
this
like
one.
super
Semi-auto
fucking
shit.
bad, bro.
Extended light mag here.
I don't have a light gun yet, and I don't have any.
Alright, I can carry it for later.
Oh, I just found a bag.
Alright, so you're coming to pick that up then?
Yeah, I couldn't. I
Oh,
dropped like
shit.
my shield cells, all my doubles. Anybody have a big bag? I'm also. Wait, where? There it is. Anybody have a big bag? I'm also carrying around this fucking vault
No.
key. And I'm like. Well, find a big light gun, like a 99 or 301. Because 3 of my spaces are taken up with parts for a
Less than a minute.
301 gun.
Standard stock here. Level 1.
What do you have on your? What parts?
I have a stock, a stabilizer, and a clip for
I'll take the stabilizer if you don't want it.
I mean, I want it. I just have the shotgun as a
Oh,
placeholder.
I understand. I'm sorry.
Alright, well, can you
I
carry
didn't-
this now? You got that big bag?
Key here if you want to carry it.
Got myself the barrel stabilizer here. Level
Oh, here's another one.
10 seconds, right next door. Backpack.
There you go, Grim. And then I'll drop this key for you.
Dude,
That's
Grim, come here. Look at this. Either one of you. Do you see a half blue, half white helmet here that I'm looking at?
Yeah, there's 2 helmets.
Rings moving.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's
changing
2
colors.
helmets, but I can't pick up the
Yeah.
fucking blue one.
Oh, it's
Already
2
watch
helmets.
this, bro.
Anybody who wants a
There you
blue
go.
thing?
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, I was picking the white one up out of your way, bitch.
Okay. Lamborghini Mercy.
Oh.
Yo, chick, she's so thirsty.
My bad. I
You
feel like
should.
an asshole now.
I was doing you a favor, and you're like, "Oh, I got it, bitch!
Man, I'm
in your
such a
face,
fucking
bitch!
asshole.
Ah, how you like them apples?
Oh, in your face. Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe.
Idiot.
Somebody
I'll
shooting at Grim.
apologize.
Somebody's on me.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah.
Ray's going up the steps.
I'm like fucking dead, yeah. Somebody else over here.
Shit.
Hey, I'm getting shot.
Enemy down.
Reloading.
I broke the shield on
I'm
that
like
Gibraltar.
dead, but I'll try to do some gangster shit.
Oh shit, there's one behind us. God damn. I'm trying to move forward so the one behind us has to come to us.
I think he's up on the roof. I don't know where.
Ah, right here.
Nope, right here, right here. I've hit her for
damn.
150.
Sounds like.
You have
Yeah.
a dome? You have a dome?
Where'd she go? Where'd she
Real
go?
quick.
I got you, brother.
There is one on the roof, but there's more fuckers in here.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Shit. Dude, I lost track of her and she's right in front of my face. I don't
Here you
fucking
go,
know
Grim.
what happened to her.
There's a 99. Yeah.
Giving my shields a recharge.
I just saw that. I just gotta heal up real quick.
Yeah, I'm healing.
Did you finish that bitch on the ground? That lifeline?
No.
I did not.
Where'd
But
she go
I was
then?
chasing a
I downed
wraith.
one of them.
I was chasing a wraith and she got away from me. I saw her trail and she just disappeared. She disappeared behind that box you're at, Grim. I have no idea where she fucking went.
Somebody went out this door.
Close range.
Oh yeah.
Oh
that
shit.
that is
yeah,
where they
okay,
are.
Yeah. Back away, back away.
What the fuck? Who opened that?
Oh, I did, dude. I'm sorry. I
I'm
was
like
ready to
standing
stop.
there locking the door, blocking it
Oh,
as I'm
shit.
healing. You just
I'm
open
sorry,
the door
bro.
so I get
I'm
fucking
sorry.
raped.
I am repairing myself.
Charging shield.
Oh my god, the circle's moving
Fuck. Man.
They'll never shoot through this.
in. Dude, Joe, don't go outside. Come back inside and come to the circle in the building. Joe, did Tristan meet
No,
you
no,
where I
I'm
can't
here.
hear
I'm
you?
just ultra focused.
Okay. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! There's somebody getting somebody up there, and there's somebody right up here too. Up on this shit.
Ah, man. I was not equipped for that fight.
Yeah, sorry about that, Grim. I was opening the door so I could shoot at that guy because I had a 3x side. My bad, my bad.
You should have said something. I would have moved.
Yeah, sorry, dude. Sorry.
Because they shot me as soon as I opened the door, so I shut the door and was healing in front of it. So they still had their sights just locked on me.
Oh shit.
Is Tristan snoring?
Yeah, I don't
Probably.
know. I see his mic going off, but
Tristan, yeah, wake up! Wake up, Tristan!
Tristan!
Go to school!
Oh, yo, I fell asleep in the cash room. I fell asleep a couple times, but like actually, I fell asleep for like
Model
an
boy.
hour in the cash room today. Yeah.
No, really?
No,
Did
I
somebody
woke
wake
up.
up and notice yourself?
I got a text message, and I woke up, and like the computer had like logged me out of the program and like went to sleep, and like so like I had to log back in and stuff, and then like that happened, like messed it up, and like I couldn't get certain shit to print.
What happened?
No, I had to call the like full-time cash lady and have her walk me through it. Cause when you do like the monetary disbursement after you like figure out what the deposit's gonna be, or actually to figure out what the deposit's gonna be, I print out like all of the coins and all of the bills on 2 different sheets. Then I use that to add up what I'm gonna keep, what I'm gonna bank, and in the process of doing that, I fell asleep. And then like at the end of that, like I print the bills, print the coins, and so I print the bills, save it, print the coins, save it. Oh shit! How come everybody's got a gun but me?
Oh shit! I'm Joe. I'm coming. Where's he at? Awesome. Good shit.
Oh, there's somebody above.
Oh, fuck! Oh, he got me. God fucking damn. He's hurt a little. I hit him with one Eva shot. Oh no! Oh no!
God damn! I don't know why it switched them. I don't know what I hit, but it switched my charge rifle. Just waste all his time.
Oh, I must have hit that dude with more than one burst. Had 114. I didn't even contribute to the one Joe downed. He killed him by himself.
I'm a big boy.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm gold 3 now. I've been messing it, making points.
I now need.
Oh yeah, I'm gold 1.
23 points. I needed 19 when we started this. I now need 123.
Come up. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, let's see. I need 179 now to make it to gold 3. I think I had needed 40 or 50 something when we started. But like, you know, we made most of these points like in 1 or 2 knots when we were doing good. And I know sometimes when we're playing, it's like we'll have an up knot and a down knot, and it just keeps like going back to the base level. But I think we all have to have an on knot to push ourselves to the next level.
Yes.
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 The match is on. Let's do this, brother.
You got any viewers right now?
Looks like that's a no, bro.
Probably best they see us when we're doing
Yeah,
well.
I never finished my social post.
Oh no.
So.
You never
I never
did your
finished
what?
the social post. I got the clip and did all that, but I never actually downloaded and posted it. So
Yeah.
that helps when I have a social post.
Showing some of that action.
But that's not my strong point.
Yeah,
I
where
need
you?
to actually make more clips of like the stuff that people would be drawn in for, like
Might be something good there.
the comedic stylings. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, word up. Yeah.
Send out my decoy.
I really need to.
I'm dropping a havoc.
I really need to like learn to edit and make videos and do that. Do the whole YouTube thing for realsies.
Damn,
Party
bro.
time.
Nobody here can touch us, dude. It's like non-stop wrecking everybody.
Yeah, that's crazy. There's nobody here.
The map's for.
there's like a mirage doing the worm on the roof here. When the party started.
I would like to have seen that. That's funny. I've not seen that before.
Double tap hammer point.
Ooh, I just gotta select fire for my prowler.
Helmet here. Level 2.
I think I just noticed this one on the bow doing like the fucking
Oh
Titanic shit.
I've never seen it.
Blue body shield, light mag. Are we getting shot at? What's happening?
Oh, I didn't notice.
This one, kids. Got a vault key.
Yeah, that is adorable.
I got a vault key.
Here,
Oh, sir.
I'm dropping a med kit for somebody.
Okay, I can use that.
Oh, that's going down below
Anybody
us
have like
somewhere.
extra heavy? Here's a couple shield cells.
I'm double heavy.
And then,
I'll give you 20 heavy, bro. I don't have much heavy. There you go.
Okay. So I got a flatline with a purple clip. So
Hold on, you said that there was
gonna be my-
a blue
my
shield
beard.
somewhere? Yeah. I found
yeah,
it.
it's up in the, by the
I
disco
found
ball.
it.
Got it.
Oh, there's a
There's,
hemlock if anybody's into that weird shit.
2 shield cells that
Oh yeah.
Grim
that.
dropped that I don't have room for.
Okay. Actually, I think I'm gonna drop this.
And there's 2 more. And there's a bag.
I dropped that
you,
for
yeah.
the alternator.
So you guys want to go
Oh,
to the
thanks,
vault
thanks.
or what?
Sure.
Yo, why can't I see the bag? There it is. I see it.
Oh, wasn't there a prowler up here? It's like
Yeah,
right
there
on
was a
here.
prowler somewhere.
I didn't see it.
I did.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll switch my flatline for the prowler. Where the hell was it? You remember? Maybe in a bin? Maybe in the front in a bin. I don't know.
Hold on, wait. Do you guys see
yeah,
that
that's what
blue
it was.
thing up in the sky there? Is that a care package coming in?
I'm not.
Like directly
I don't
above
see
me.
it.
Oh no! I saw people posting about it. Yeah, up there. We're saying
Oh, yeah.
it's like a thing for the next season. Here's
Oh,
another
okay.
thing. Alright, come on.
Did
It's just standing still.
Did
up
you
there,
find
yeah.
that
What the fuck? Gold is so hard to get.
that prowler?
Yes. I did find the prowler row.
Optics here. Close range.
2x down here. Another dumb vault key, but we don't need
All right,
it.
I'm gonna drop a U site
There's a threat.
if anybody wants
I
one.
got one. Ooh, digital threat. Yeah. Take that shit. There's a 1 to 2.
There's a vault, the train yard vault.
Well, I have a vault key,
Yeah.
so I doubt.
Oh, okay.
2 vaults. That's what I was
Wait,
saying.
did you pick it up? Because I'm. holding
I
the vault
have
key.
one from the first thing. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I got
I'm dropping
one.
this one. Yeah, thanks.
Ooh, there's an open door over here.
I'll defend over. Definitely not the first squad to pass through here.
I got the key to the vault.
Is that insurance in case I
You
die?
never know.
Joe's like, oh yeah, I'll still take that.
I did have
There
myself.
he is. I thought you were snoring earlier.
Oh, you've been talking this whole time?
You just noticed
I've been
now?
talking non-stop.
No one could hear you for an hour.
Damn, dude, it's been like a half an hour. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Still, I can talk for a very long time.
So these
Yeah,
bins aren't hit.
I bet
so.
you thought we were real
And the
jerks
bolt's
for
still
never
on top.
responding
Back
to
of
you.
the club, fuck
Train
the...
station.
Oh, and that
Gonna
joke
need
about
heavy
the
and
Vegemite
stock.
and bratwurst, I got confused between you and another guy.
Wait, do y'all know each other in real life?
Yeah.
Well, Joe and Dan do.
Yeah, me and Grim do. We grew up together. Oh.
Oh no!
Ooh.
Getting played over here, brah.
Yeah, I hear
There's
shit.
another thing over here. Don't get played by it.
What the? Oh shit! I got played. I got played by it. You said it literally like a second before I got played by it, though. So. Yeah. Tristan, when I said the thing about the bratwurst and the Vegemite, that's because we play with another guy sometime that's from Australia. Oh, hey, they're at the mouth of the tunnel. They're at the mouth of the tunnel. They just did a gas halt.
Save some trouble. They can't get us back in here.
I got 2
I'm
things
burning
to... Oh,
one
no,
of them.
no,
I'm
I got
burning one of them
Mozambique.
for
Never
armor.
mind, that's even
He
better.
backed out.
I got 2 Mozambiques. This is back to
I only
play
have one
Peacekeeper.
trouble
Come
left.
on.
And then
I can't lose
shoot
now.
this shit if you can.
Goth boy,
No, I guess
Goth
that's
boy,
it.
the one you can't avoid.
They must have ran away.
Yeah.
No, they're up at the top of the tunnel, dude. They're at the top.
Choice, my choice.
They're up
Looking
where?
for you
Top of the
at
steps,
back
you
of the
think?
club. Looking for you at the back of the club. Fucked up.
Tristan, shut the hell up for a minute.
Yeah,
We're
Okay.
trying to play. We're in a battle. Sorry, dude.
We're in ranked, so we don't really want to die because you can't hear what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be harsh. I was just playing with you, but seriously.
Well, seriously, I ain't playing with you, bro.
I just playing, but no playing.
Extended light mag here. Level 1.
Was that you that just grappled?
There's
just heard a grapple.
Man, shit
Was that
here.
you? Okay.
That was me. I don't know where these guys went. I guess they were like, I got burnt by a burning stick, and I don't want no more of that.
They probably were scared, more afraid of us, so they just like threw the
Yeah.
ultimate and ran past us or something. Alright, we heard about those guys. They say weird stuff.
That one guy, everything he touches turns into cum.
Alright, so I know where we're going.
God damn gas traps, dude. Oh, another one. Motherfucker.
Alright, so I still need a better gun than an alternator.
Someone's being brought back.
Do you know what my favorite mode was?
Hemlock wingman in there.
I don't know.
Where?
I sound.
My favorite mode was
Just behind there, I think. I don't see a ship. Yeah, I see the ship. All right, let's go. I'm on your
All right,
six.
stay frosty.
And they got some
Oh, yeah,
bullet
people are
shots
shooting at
shit
them.
going
They're
on.
over there. I'm throwing my ult at them, so watch out.
Try to forget.
Oh yeah, I see him. One of them just ran up onto the porch. One of them over here. This is 2 squads battling. Well, you know that. Shit.
Oh, there's somebody
Yeah, I
back
heard
by
those
me.
footsteps right there, by that bin.
Yeah, we're with you. Yep, he just ran into. Storm.
Shit, the ring's coming in. We
yeah.
should move in
Round 2.
and then fight
Yeah,
him.
let the storm burn him. Yeah.
No
Get up
choice.
that roof,
Looking
probably.
for you back of the club. Looking for you at the back of the club. Fucked up.
Hey, care package. I love these things.
Back of the club.
Oh, there
In
is.
the back of the club. Into the bad love. Into the bad love. Into the vein of sin.
Got the medic.
Another one back here.
Where's he at,
Further
Grim?
back.
I see him. I see him.
Into
Purple
my
shield.
blood.
I hit him for about 60.
Purple shield and do 15 after that.
Who had it? Here I
Where's that dude
Oh,
out there?
there's somebody else. Oh. Oh, motherfucker.
Yep. I'm getting Joe up.
They're coming.
I'm fucked. I got killed one. Yep.
Mother.
God.
Oh, we fought valiantly. We fought valiantly. Did one of us have a
Look at the
gold shield
club
or something?
again.
I do,
When you
but
start texting,
Okay.
you
I know
can,
there was no chance to use it. I was just
my
wondering if-
phone. The guy just can't resist and trying to let you feel you missed. In the bar like 6 p.m. And with a segment it's in the social, yeah. Back your neck.
Well, that was fun.
Is,
Might as well. Oh, basically, I'm listening to Lil Peep right now. That boy clicking and well.
I don't know that is.
Boy, the one you can avoid.
Doesn't sound
No.
too good.
You don't gotta sing that stuff.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
gotta sing
Yeah,
those, bro.
Tristan.
Please don't sing those.
Tristan,
Ask me.
What?
Don't sing those.
every word you hear from Little Peep does not have to be relayed to us.
No, I'm not gay.
No one was even saying that. We just...
No, we're just saying please don't sing. It's okay to sing a line or two every once in a while, but you know, you gotta take, if you're putting on a concert, you gotta be selling tickets.
I have a good voice, just that the thing in that song is very deep. I haven't sung in a while though. Sing sang song. I'm a Chinese man. Hing hong hong.
You
That's not
racist
actually
some bitch.
You racist. You know that I'm
Tristan,
I
when I
have
said that shit,
Asian American roots.
God damn it, I
find
got
that
kicked.
very
You got
offensive.
kicked.
God boy,
know what's
click
happening.
up like.
Hey, well, it's doing that shit
again.
where
I did 9
join you.
damage with my grenade. Grenade with his grenade. This is not the actual lyrics, by the way.
Are you sure? I think they might be.
I can win this thing with one eye closed.
Alright, send us an invite.
Joe,
Oh,
can
we
you
gonna lose
invite-
points if we leave?
Maybe.
Oh, I didn't know you were in a game. Just go ahead.
Yeah, when you got kicked, you're already at... Oh, shit.
Did it show me on the character
No.
select screen?
Yeah, no, not on the character side. You were in the
Okay,
lobby.
yeah, just go ahead. Just go ahead. I'm
No,
gonna run to the bathroom. I'll be back in a sec.
Oh, I just got a legendary peacekeeper.
Introducing your champion.
Oh, let's go.
That shit is legendary.
I'm the jump master.
In the back of the
That shit is super yellow,
in the
bro.
back of the club.
It's the yellowest shit I got.
I guess, we'll do blue train yard.
Oh, the skin on this gun is sick.
Blue.
It's sick like the shit got the
Oh
flu.
my
Hopefully
god.
we'll get lost forgiveness since we don't
Oh,
have a
yeah, we
partner.
probably
I don't
will.
know.
The skin on this gun is
I don't
seriously
know if you
distracting.
just miss someone or if it gets... If they leave
Nah,
in
it
the
should-
game,
I
I'm not
believe
sure.
either one.
But if you only
Yeah.
get shot with 2 teammates...
Push
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
away.
So this is nothing but up. We can only go up. So let's get some kills. Should motivate us.
Whoa, this skin is like sick.
I don't believe you. You've only told us 3 times.
It's a no uniform today in school today.
What? No uniform. So you were like in there in like a gangster in like a tracksuit
Yeah.
and shit, right?
Were you naked? What? That's
Oh,
weird.
somebody's flying on us.
Imagine if we were all in
I don't know.
Flying
I
already.
don't know. I was
Where are
shooting a
they?
loot tick.
I hear him up here. Somewhere.
Alright, I'm a bit far.
This
I'm
way.
coming.
Imagine if we were all in the exact
In
same
the middle.
game.
Okay, I'm coming. I'm
And
coming. I'm
here.
coming. I'm
And
coming.
here.
I'm
Let's go for
coming.
this dude first.
She got bamboozled.
I was down in the lower area.
Care package. Care
Bitch,
package.
don't look at my friend, you bitch.
Climb the wall. What are you doing, fat
They're
boy?
trying to
Climb
spy
the
on
fucking
you.
wall.
Making contact here.
And there's another guy that was over there.
There we go.
There's a enemy.
Lost him.
Getting shot at.
Bags got
Throwing some cover for my brother.
I think somebody zipped up over here. Yeah.
That champion didn't really intimidate me.
I'm back.
I need to heal up. I need to heal up.
Nice kill.
Do you have any? Oh, I do have one big shield
here.
I
Give
can
my
use.
shield to recharge.
I could do multiple simulations.
Oh, nice.
No, they got the
Thank
care
you. You hear
package.
somebody
No,
else?
I
There was
don't.
somebody else up here.
Yeah, someone
There's
was
somebody
shooting
like
at you.
further that way, like the middle bins where we land. the tall
Yeah, when
ones.
you were looting this this thing, there was somebody shooting at you. Oh man, I
Yeah,
tried
one
to,
here, yeah.
I tried to
Peacekeeper.
make that shit go away, but that shit didn't go away.
Oh no! Do you have any light ammo?
There's some in here.
Picked up a 301, but I have nothing.
Looking for you in the back of the club. Looking for you in the back of the club.
Where's that,
Yeah.
another box?
Tristan, he stopped singing. Just mute yourself when you're
please,
singing
bro.
or something. I'm sure you're good, but we don't.
It's annoying.
Little peep
Yes.
ain't my thing.
Yeah.
It's just
If I wanted to hear Little Peep's garbage, I would listen to it myself.
Yeah, that garbage would be blasting in our fucking headphones. We want it.
It's actually not
Lil
even that
Peep.
loud.
Don't want
then
it.
Lil Uzi
Here
Vert.
we are.
I don't listen to Lil Uzi or you shit.
Don't listen to any of that fucking trap shit. But
I mean,
no offense.
I got-
I know some people like it. It's just
Oh,
not
you
my
don't
thing.
I got it, I
like
got
that?
it.
Rap.
R99 here.
Got for the one
See,
thing.
trap to me
You missed the 99
is
if you really want to.
Barrel stabilizer here.
Oh, I nearly blew myself up on my own
Gay dudes
grenade.
dressing like women that
I
make
don't
you
know.
get
somebody
on
Nah,
that
trap to me is like
Joe.
Ti, like hardcore,
Yes, I
like
got him with the
fucking
grenade. Let's go hit him with the blow.
good ass shit from, yeah.
What?
Another guy had a
yeah.
legend.
Oh, I've never heard Ti. do
T.I.,
that.
somebody
yeah.
else.
That's why I'm saying
Don't,
that.
just
yeah, oh
landed.
shit, you're far. I'm coming.
Shots fired. Hit me. Bad news.
Oh.
I kind of, I mean, I can understand T.I.'s
Two of them are
natural
almost dead.
voice and diction kind of being
The
similar to the traps.
T.I. had a CD literally called trap music. That's how trap his music is.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Somebody got knocked.
Do I really need it? I cannot remember.
Care package being delivered.
Yeah. I got 2 kills now.
Smoke. Oh shit.
Give me my shields to recharge.
And now I'm gonna die.
They're coming.
No, I missed all them wingman shots. All of them shits.
Roll against kerosene,
Matt.
trying to learn to feel mist. With a bar like 6 p.m.
Dude, Tristan, come on, bro. Come on, dude.
He
just
said
we
I
got
could
lost.
sing every once in a while.
Just listen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's been
yeah, but it's
nonstop,
not. It's
so
like
I gotta throw
it's
the
like
meat
if
down.
you take a
I'm doing
5-second
it.
break and then start singing again,
Done.
please.
Problem solved.
Well, that's what pros do.
What the fuck? Why
They
didn't
take
that work?
like a 5-second break.
There we go.
I got
Drums.
a vault key. I'll start singing about something you don't like. With all the Apex Legends. I'll do an Apex rap. Wait, give me a second. I'm just in the middle of this game.
I think that invite was to 0, actually.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
You know what?
just
No,
one
no, no,
sec,
I'm
give
not
You
me
might
just
not
one
be able
sec.
to hear me because I'm muted.
No, I can hear you.
You
I can
can't hear me too. No, I muted
Oh.
Tristan.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if you can hear me.
No, I can hear you.
It's fucking annoying.
Yeah. It's like shut the fuck up. It took me. The reason I was saying wait a minute is because like I muted him, and then like it didn't
You know,
mute
I
the
can
first
still
time
hear
I
you,
clicked
right?
A,
You can.
and I was
Me
waiting
too.
to see if it was just
I
delayed.
don't think they know that you
Yeah,
can
that's
still
Right,
hear
weird.
go
them.
back in.
I don't think
Yeah.
they know how mute works.
Oh, so
Yeah.
he can hear us? Yeah. Well, sorry, can't
What?
hear us.
Oh, you
Tristan.
guys. Oh,
Oh no, we can't hear you. Tristan.
you guys muted me.
It
Sorry.
shows him
Wait,
You were
Grim,
muted.
can
I
you
have
hear
him.
You just wouldn't stop,
Oh,
bro.
I have
so.
him muted. He doesn't
I
have
need
me muted.
peace.
I got it. Yeah, sorry, Tristan. I just can't stand the singing, bro. It's like- the singing stops. Let me know. You'll get your unmuted privileges back.
I didn't know you had me muted. I thought you were just being an asshole.
I would listen to Little Peep's music if he paid me to listen to it. But I don't think it works
Nah, I'm
like that.
pretty sure it does not work like that.
Nah, I don't think so.
He doesn't have enough face tattoos to satisfy my creative urges. I mean,
That's.
Yeah, you have to have at least
Like-
twice as many.
yeah.
What do you got there?
I mean, if 6ix9ine told us anything, the more face tattoos you have, the more snitchy you are.
Just give me a shot and I'll shine like
You
the
know?
sun.
You gotta realize how good the graphics are in these games now.
Oh, he was
Like,
the
they're ridiculously
he was the
so good.
skeeted
Never mind.
guy, right?
Never mind. This is just Blur.
Little Peep, he was the
It's like
guy
games
that was
used
like
to
a
be like
skid
this Blur.
it.
I don't know, man. They're all the same to me anymore. Lil Pete, Lil Xan.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
Lil.
these.
I mean, like, you know, the only Lil I can even think of that has some pretty good rap is Lil Wayne. Like, and he was around way before these latest.
Yeah, a little different. Alright, Mr. Joe.
Hang tight.
Hope you're back.
Oh my god. That looks amazing. Oh my god, that's actually really funny.
Not a bad guy. I'm just pinging where I'm going.
Alright, there's people below
I
us.
fell to the floor. I was coming down
Making
a little
contact with enemy.
hole.
Watch out for the holes in the floor.
Yep. One of them just dropped down here.
Alright.
Two of them did. I hit one of them for about
I need me
55. I'm not
I don't have a
attacking.
gun,
I'm waiting on you guys.
Okay, here, I got a gun.
Okay.
Oh,
Got a
God.
gun.
Oh, shit, there's
I'm
another one.
on my way
I
now.
got
Right
fake
here.
guns, bro.
He's climbing up.
I mean, fake guns are better than any guns.
He
No
just
guns. You know what I mean?
P2020 and a fucking
What?
here he is.
dumb
No,
gun. There we
three
go.
Got
headshots
him.
is
Where are
bullshit.
you guys? Up there? I'm coming.
Yeah, he
I'm
got
coming.
dummy done.
Don't worry, I'm here.
I pooped
Yeah.
on him and
You got
I'm
him?
getting Joe up. Yeah.
Thank you. Level 1. Reloading.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a scout for you. Oh, let me get one of them. There's two of them. Oh, what the fuck?
Too late.
Oh no, I'm dropping the scout here. You can have it. Whoa, what the fuck? Just
Full vest up here. Somebody wants it.
Joe, I dropped a scout
Okay.
for you.
Forget that. Scout here.
No, why did I cancel?
There's only
I saw
There's an
Graham's
Ultranator.
hologram. I was like, what the fuck?
Health. I have no. There's a full body shield up
no.
here.
I
I'm
got a-
telling you about.
I got a shield for you, Joe.
Oh,
I got
I'm gonna
shield
grab that
battery.
body shield.
There's another full shield.
Oh, I don't even know.
Okay.
You get a shield, and you get a shield. Shields for everybody.
Full on body shield.
I'm hearing somebody. They're underneath of us, I think.
All right. No, up here.
Oh, they're going up.
Oh, one up the shaft. One up the shaft.
I have been down.
Yeah, kid.
Downed an enemy.
There's also one.
Also right here.
outside on the same level. I don't know where he went though. Yeah.
Gotta heal. Taking a knee.
Thanks.
There's a full vest in that corner. You see it? Behind us. That way.
Yep.
You'll get it.
Thank you. All right.
Up here on the
Where's
roof.
he at, Grim?
I think he went to the top.
Yeah, she did.
Mozambique beat to the dome. you
Somebody
bitch.
zipping up. Somebody zipping up.
Oh shit.
Birdman got him.
Got him. Nice.
Straight to the dome.
I'm fucked up.
There's somebody else.
Need some light.
Oh,
Got it.
yo, I need those syringes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can, man. I got 0 health heals.
Wasn't there just a med kit in
Thanks,
there?
Yeah,
No?
no syringes.
Did I make that up?
Where is this other box at?
I
Oh,
didn't
here.
get a med yet if there was.
I found some heals. And give you some
Prowler SMG here.
for a
All right,
small fee. Oh, and there's a 301.
Yeah, there's a 301 in this box here.
I'm good on guns.
Alternator here.
Somebody zipping? Who's
Got a Hemlock
shit.
45.
Oh, and this box over here.
Okay,
That was me.
okay.
That was me.
I'm with you.
Oh,
Joe.
here you
okay.
go.
Thanks,
There's
Brett.
a couple of syringes. Yep.
I've got
Oh,
a
and shield
shield
cells. You need some
battery.
shield cells.
SMG here.
Just
I got
dropped
2
4 shield
batteries.
cells.
I'll drop a
This is
battery
a
and
final
take 2
squad.
cells, and then, you know, you guys can both have 2 cells, and, you know, one of you can have a
I hear
battery.
some zipping.
Somebody's zipping over to
Here's
us.
the- Okay.
Got a bad guy.
You see him?
No, I'm with you,
Are they
though.
up there already?
Here's a blue shit.
Sounds like they're on the roof.
Blue shit.
Yeah,
Either one of
that's
us needs
you,
the
you
blue
have it.
shit. Oh, shit. Somebody, I don't know where it's coming from.
They probably turned
that
around.
building.
They're on the
That
roof over
building.
there.
Yeah. I'm trying to get covered.
Sending out my decoy.
Joe, did you see those shield cells?
Yeah, I
That
got the
battery
shield
over
cell
here?
battery here. Do you need it?
My shields
Do you
are
need
Okay.
it?
No, I was intended it for you.
Well, me's appreciate it.
Are we moving on these fools or what?
Sure.
Loot.
You want, okay. I'm dropping down though, cause I think they'll expect.
Oh, they're about to zip over to where we are. They just set up a zip line.
Yes! I won! I want to get
Nice.
nice. back!
Oh, yeah, I see that shit.
Congratulations on the win.
Yes!
Where
I
are
don't know.
they?
They set up a
I don't
zip
know where they're
like
at.
to go back. Oh, on me, on me.
Oh, you scared us.
Okay, we're coming.
Fast legs.
Where they at, Joe? In the shaft?
He just went up to the second floor.
Contact one up.
Oh.
I don't know where he went after that.
Third floor.
Okay.
Over here.
I mean, I'm
I
asking
don't know.
you.
He
I'm
was on the
asking you.
second.
You bitch.
Oh, what?
Was that fast
You ain't
legs?
going nowhere, ho. Yes.
All right. Somebody else is shooting in the distance.
Killed an enemy.
Yeah, back there.
Oh,
some
over
bitches.
here.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Literally, right back there.
Oh, I need some of the syringes.
Alright.
Ooh, I got an apex.
I hit that one for about 48.
I'll drop a med kit
One
for you.
Two or
Here.
blue.
Here.
Thank you.
Med kit.
What's gold in there?
Okay. I
Alright.
didn't really get the
You
best
got that,
thing.
dude?
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was,
know.
Hit him for another 24 behind that rock.
But I'm on.
yeah, I just got-
ass.
Shit, I just got hit by like
I just got
150, dude.
Reloading.
I need to shield up.
Recharging shield.
Shielding up and then going in.
There's 2 of them back here.
Oh shit,
yeah.
I see one of them. Oh god, he stopped me again. God fucking damn it.
Reloading.
Contact with enemy. Contact with target.
That
He's
dude's
got to
almost
have a
down.
Kraber, dude.
Making contact with enemy. Let's go this way.
He's down
Have
here.
a Kraber. He hit me
Coming
for
around
one
Oh,
this
shot.
somebody's in.
Blossom fucking run.
Motherfucker!
Oh, there's
I
a dude
thought he
on
was
us.
dead.
God damn.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't even see him coming. I would have said something. dude.
Nah, that's not your
sorry,
fault. That's not your fault at all.
Let me get this dude before he heals up.
Hey guys,
He
I'm
got
gonna get
somebody on
something
your
to eat.
back too.
So back in a
Okay.
second.
Turn around as soon as you get him.
See you soon. Alright. We'll see you when you get back.
Okay. I got hit by a Kraber, and then I healed 75 shields and 25 health, and got hit by a Kraber again by that same motherfucker. I think he was the one that Grim was chasing. And
Who was
that's a
shooting
bitch.
McCraber? The dude I was chasing was just
What?
running the whole time. He was almost dead. He probably.
It was probably
here's the
him.
Kraber guy. You see this dude? He's just hiding over here with a Kraber. That's their third teammate.
Oh, I
he's
left
from
the
a different
fucking match.
squad.
You're still
Nah,
alive?
we're all dead.
No, I just happened to be watching.
Oh.
So remember we killed the fast dude and then the electric chick? Well, that was
Yeah.
2 different squads. Then it was whoever was in the dome. God, that Birdman was almost fucking dead, man. That's why I went after him, but he must have healed up when I went back down the other bit.
Oh, we got points for that though. Okay.
Did we?
That helps.
Did
That's
not.
nice. I did.
Sick.
Oh yeah, you guys got kills.
How
I
many
got
did you get?
16. Oh, I had 3 kills. That's anytime it's positive, I'm happy with that. Did
Besides,
Tristan
he got his STD
take
test.
a
He
break?
went to get something.
His AIDS test.
He's back. So. Eat some chippers.
I did my Wii Fitness age test, and apparently
You're being
I'm
unmuted,
35.
Tristan. If the singing resumes, the mute resumes.
Let me go to the bathroom. I will be right back.
I feel like just singing now that he's unmuted me.
You know, you do you and suffer the consequences.
I'm not. Where's the weird swingy ball sack monsters?
But Tristan, I got to give you props because I looked up little Peep. Sorry, I didn't mean to say little. And I was observing his face tattoos, and along his hairline, he's got "Get Cake, Die Young," and he did die young. So his dreams were fulfilled.
I mean,
Wait, is he the one? Is he one of the ones that died or not?
Yeah, he did die.
Okay. Damn, he was young as shit. Oh damn, there's a lot of
living that
these
street
Lils.
life.
Lil Pump, Lil Zen, Lil Nas X.
I listened to those out.
I mean, that Country Road wasn't okay. Yeah, Old Town Road, that was I mean, you know, it was catchy, I guess. Lil Tracy, Lil Skies, Lil Uzi Vert. Man, a bunch of motherfucking Lils.
Is that bullshit? Motherfucking
Lil
Lil!
Yachty, Lil Tekka. God damn, that's a bunch of Lils.
Excellent. Time to destroy more opponents.
I can win this thing with one eye closed, or both eyes closed. Hell, I don't even have to show up.
Yeah,
Logic is really good.
I just
At
just
least
occasionally
$6,
rock
maybe
lyrics,
$7.
and I know it's better than these motherfucking mumble rappers. I mean, yeah, it's better than the mumble rappers. I started to say most of them, but it's probably better than most. It's probably better than all of them.
Lil Peep isn't a mumble rapper.
He's
It's
close
like
enough.
sing rap. It's pretty close, but
We gone, Mr. Jowen.
I know I've heard some
Yeah,
Lil Peep
alright.
shit before, but I'm about to YouTube him. Oh, okay, no, I got to get points.
Oh shit. Opie's not in
Get-
this room with me.
Get Cake, die in the top 10.
Ah, fuck bitches get money. It's the I guess now that would be an offensive saying. I guess it's like, fuck whoever you're comfortable falling in love with.
Fuck men or
Fuck.
women.
Let me try to update. You got any viewers right now,
No,
Joe?
Just
no
fuck.
viewers.
Okay, well I can say this, and I don't want to alienate your audience, but you know, to update that saying in a politically correct way for the modern audience, you should say, "Fuck lady boys get money."
Well, not.
That's
Yeah,
a completely
lady
different
boys
thing.
is-
That does not mean the same thing.
No, fuck Thai
I-
lady boys get money.
That is not updating anything. That's like offending a whole new demographic.
We want the cool guy vest.
Although I'd be tempted to say that if you did have viewers, I wouldn't say it if you did. I think too much of you for
Now
that.
he doesn't.
To be honest,
'Cause of
to be
your
honest,
shit.
your viewer would have probably been like, "Okay, I'm gonna recommend this channel to a friend now." But you never know.
Never know.
Oh, they like banging lady boys too? Recommend.
Subscribe. Hey, I mean, you know what? Elon Musk can call some random English
Elon
expatriate a
Musk
pedo
smoked
guy
weed.
I need to select fire.
and not get in any trouble for it. So, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Tristan. I saw that thing on Joe Rogan. Yeah, okay. I never finished explaining this, Tristan. When I said that shit about bratwurst with Vegemite, it was because we sometimes play with a guy from Australia, and I had you confused with him for a
Is
minute.
there some
I
heavy
know
ammo
Ireland,
over here. Did
in
you think
Australia,
something-
you're not
Yeah,
the
I
same.
pinged.
But the Australian guy lives in Germany. So I was saying bratwurst with Vegemite because it's a German thing and a Australian thing.
Vegemite's not.
I don't
It's not
see it.
Australian?
No.
Close. Less than a minute.
Vegemite's in Ireland.
Oh, there's people at the top of the hill.
Yeah, but I mean, I
Oh,
believe
what
it
the
was in,
fuck?
I believe it was
yeah, that's
invented in
not
Australia. I mean, I don't know about
Here they
invented,
come.
but I think the brand is from Australia. Is what I'm saying.
Oh,
I don't know that. I don't know.
rape lifeline, get dollars.
Oh, did we
Nah,
kill
that
two
was
of
my
them?
lifeline.
What?
that you just finished off that I killed.
Third guy up top.
The ring's close. 10 seconds.
So there's still one up
heavy
top,
ammo
There was,
you're
I
saying?
think.
Or are they all dead?
No, yeah, the
looking.
lifeline came down. I think there was somebody else that was shooting while the lifeline was sliding down.
So you
Yeah.
only downed one though?
Yeah.
Optics here.
Oh, I didn't know Grim was at the top of the
Yeah.
mountain.
He just went up there looking for a- Oh yeah, here they are.
Look from, but I don't see anybody.
Oh,
what
shit!
the
Yeah,
fuck?
on Joe, on Joe.
Morning.
Oh shit, that's his fucking
No, I'm
Mirage.
eating my breakfast.
He,
Where
he's
they at,
doing a
Grim? Where
special.
they at, Grim?
So.
Shot at.
I-
Opening fire. Reloading.
Yeah.
Hey,
I see
let me
one more in
execute
the
him.
distance
Let me
to
execute
the
him.
southwest. Yeah, go for it.
Care package coming in.
There's one more close to us in the over here. No, there's more
Alright,
people battling.
I
over
just
here.
shot a
Somebody
loot
just threw
thing down. I'm gonna go get that real quick.
All right, there's dudes battling to the southwest.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Standard stock here. Level 2.
Oh.
It's like a U site here and shit.
Oh yeah, there's a wraith portal.
Oh
Wait,
shit!
and you
Somebody
said
coming
there's
on
still
me.
people? Oh shit.
Right here, on me, on me.
Alright, 2 seconds. I got a med kit popping. Alright, I'm good.
No, they're behind that
Are they
rock.
dead?
Dude, behind this rock, no.
Getting bamboozling.
I'm down.
Oh, she went through.
Reloading.
I'm with you.
I'm going.
Opening fire.
Good stuff. Oh yeah.
We finished the squad. That's how you get the
Good
job
shit.
Working on.
My confidence.
Watching mechanics.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
when we started this
You're in
shit.
for a
But
treat.
now Now I just feel like I'm getting fucking amped up.
Super amp.
Give aim.
Give aim.
I got you.
Recharging shields.
Oh, you're down? I didn't even notice.
You might want to turn your bitrate up a bit.
And then isn't there like
It's a bit
boxes?
like-
Yeah, no, I had to
glitches
turn it
or
down because it
something?
was
I don't know.
causing some lag issues.
Giving my shields a recharge.
I mean, I could probably turn it
What'd
up a
you say,
little
Grim?
bit.
Oh, watch out for the storm.
Wasn't there
We're right
boxes
on the
to
edge.
loot or something still?
There's a box right here.
I saw that one.
There's nothing.
I need heavy ammo. I only have friggin' 67 bullets.
Oh, there was some box earlier that had like 80 heavy left, but dude, I don't even remember. It was one of the first ones we downed, I think. It's in the storm.
Whatever.
Bit right.
Giving my shields a recharge.
Neither of you has a syringe, do you?
Alright, I
Maybe
just
that's
bumped it
fair.
up to 2300. Yeah.
Thanks, Bria. Oh hell yeah, thanks, dude.
And here, there's
You don't have any games on, by the way.
Oh thanks.
Are you short
Don't
on
have
them?
any
I have
games?
6
What do you
little ones. But if you need them, you know.
That's good. I got 3 now. I got 3.
Well. What?
We should probably start getting close to the circle. So we kinda
Fat
feel like
boy's having a
that,
hard
though.
time getting up the hill.
You got bamboozled. Look at you.
Open door in that building.
Yeah, I also hear shots farther to the east.
Oh yeah, back into the left and shit. Yeah.
Stay away.
Level 1.
Ring closes in a minute.
This was going through, but there's still a lot of shit. Finding heavy ammo left and right.
Left, right, center.
Heck
It's
yeah,
so
that
cold.
white clip came in handy.
Oh, and this box. Anybody want some cool stuff? There's a bunch of cool shit in this
Yeah,
box
man,
here.
cool stuff's like the name of the game.
Purple knockdown, I think. Blue bags, some gun parts.
I think
bullets,
I
some
saw a
shit.
purple box up
Hell yeah.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That purple box. Is
No,
there
I
more
saw that
boxes?
through the window.
I don't really look.
I thought you were on the first floor.
Oh.
Oh, I don't have.
Close.
Okay, people shooting over there. We got 8 seconds.
Oh, shit.
For the ring to close in.
I'll take a whole bunch of light ammo.
I dropped a 1 to 2 in there.
Okay.
Joe. I know there's already
Yeah.
a 2x, but I don't know. Oh shit, Grim, you're a mile away from us, bro.
I'm in
Work out.
the storm, in the circle.
Gotta hop up here.
I mean, I just
Yeah,
don't
you
know
definitely
in
need to
case
hire
we
your
get water.
bitrate. Your
Circle to
stream
come.
is lagging like crazy.
Care package coming in.
I'm with you now. You weren't as far away as I thought. Sorry,
He
it looked
panicked.
real small.
I'm freaking out, man.
Like
This
tweeting
way, there
on
might be
South
people
Park.
coming in from the storm this way. Like we have to watch our back before we press on. Run out.
Calm down and have another cup of coffee, Tweet.
Thought I heard something. Maybe not. Who's doing the care package? That's not on the map. That is a player package, I think. Yeah. A player just called some shit in that way.
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh, the one I'm looking at is a
I'm following Grim.
Then you go.
package. Okay.
Yeah, that one is. The one that was over here wasn't. I hear him. Right here.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Oh, he just went over the crest of the hill.
Any ultimate?
Oh, he did his ult. He did his ult.
Over here.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Mechanic,
God
you need to
damn,
hire your
damn,
bitrate
one
up.
time.
Yeah, I did
Watch
just
your back.
raise it up to
Oh my God.
2300.
Oh, somebody spiked me. Joe,
That
watch
was a
yourself from right
fucking
here.
trap.
Right here.
God damn.
Ah!
It's a trap. Yeah, you got more coming. Shit.
On my stream, I
already
put it
had
at like
positive
6,000.
Yeah,
points,
no,
though,
I
so-
had it at like 35 or 32, I think.
Oh,
And
you
I
were
was having
squad number 5.
issues with it.
You know, Tristan, it may be like a deal, like an being across the ocean and shit, because when I watch his stream, it looks pretty good. I mean, I don't mean it
But
looks
I've
like
got
an
a
HD
gigabyte Wi-Fi
broadcast.
speed, so.
Well,
And an Ethernet cable.
yeah, but at the same time, I mean, it's not just your speed. When you think about, like, if you're, say you're watching Netflix or something, you're probably going to be able to take advantage of all your speed. But you can only receive as fast as the person on the other end is sending. So if Twitch's servers, say in the US on Joe's side, can only afford to give you so much bandwidth on your side, even though your connection is totally sweet, it may still look shitty.
It's probably because Joe still uses dial-up. Probably why.
Yeah, I mean, Joe's got a 14.4 modem.
Modem.
and he's
I'm
tried,
streaming
but-
over smoke signals, bro. What are you talking about?
On top of the Indian casino.
I mean, it also looks grainy. I don't know if that's just my eyeballs or.
Next break between games, I've got to look at your stream and see what it's looking like.
Yeah, maybe it's my eyeballs because.
Yeah, Tristan, I'm not watching his stream right now, but I mean, historically, when I've looked at him, it looks good.
Come on, friend. Time to win.
Introducing your champion.
Alright, so. It is 2 a.m., so I'm definitely not going to make a social post now. So I need to just finish making these clips, make a couple of them, and get them ready for the weekend.
I might be getting a wisdom
Oh,
tooth.
look at you growing up.
Oh shit.
What do you mean I'm lucky?
Well,
It
yeah,
really
I had all
hurts.
4 taken out, and then all 4 turned to dry sockets. It was not fun.
Like, it really
Oh,
hurts
damn,
right now.
son.
Because it's aching.
I had all 4 taken out, but
Yeah,
then I didn't
yeah.
get dry socket.
Cure for dry sock is just a little bit of a spit.
Yep. Which, like, smoking or drinking
That laughing
through
gas was dope, bro.
straws can cause dry sockets. I did none of that
Is it 3
stuff.
over here?
I don't smoke. I stay away from straws. I mean, I got fucking 4 of them. 4 of them.
It does what? It makes you get wisdom
Yeah,
teeth?
when
Go
you
in the
get your
middle.
wisdom teeth pulled. What? What? How that's
Where they at, bro?
bullshit. That is
I'm
bullshit.
coming. Coming, bro.
I'm right next to you, Grim.
I got a bad guy.
Yeah. Finally.
This might be this is 2 separate squads. 2 separate squads. Oh, no, it's not. No,
I
it's not.
saw this one office guy.
No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Nice work. You're good.
I mean, he looks like a million people. Oh, over there. Shit.
Oh, there's a Mozambique. Oh, God. You and your Mozambique, bro.
On this roof right here. Oh, down
God,
low,
Joe,
too.
I'm coming.
Are you? Oh man, that is fucking baloney. You got one over there. This baloney ass robot over here.
Enemy down.
You might as well put it. Oh. I'm sorry, I shouldn't even said anything. I was gonna say you might as well put him out for the points, but you had no chance.
Baloney ass robots.
Yo, Tristan, I know you were, like, just, you know, waiting for me to look this shit up, but Vegemite was invented in Australia. However, it
You're
was
still
invented
on your Vegemite.
as a copycat product of Marmite, which was invented 20 years earlier in Britain. So, you know.
Yeah, that's what we have, Marmite.
It was a viral sensation.
Now I want to play Earthworm Jim. Yo, what's a Manhattan bagel? Like a everything bagel or something?
How did he end up here?
Oh.
But most bagels, the first 2 days, you don't even have to toast them. They're delicious and fresh.
Oh yeah, I'd like to give one of those a try. I read some article, I don't know why I read it, it's on that fucking Firefox Pocket recommended articles, which are usually just horse shit, but...
You read horse shit?
Like, when bagels were a new thing.
Right. Back
like,
in 1939, when they invented the bagel.
Baking unions, like, controlled the New York bagel market. And then the mafia tried to make it on it.
Mechanic.
And then some...
your mic's upside down.
Your mic's upside down.
Mechanic, your mic's upside down, so the sound is upside down.
Your mic's upside down.
Dude, we're doing it again. I don't care. We're fucking warriors, and we're gonna take
ready
this
for
fucking
that
train yard.
shit.
Warface!
Yeah, you guys know that dude Kai? He was like in the media, like he was a hitchhiker with like a hippie bandana, and he was like famous for being like smash, smash, smash. Like he like killed some dude that was like.
He was a famous hitchhiker? No, I have no idea.
I didn't see that.
But what about...
But he was like a social media dude hitchhiking.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I don't have a gun.
She's dead. She's dead. The one that was attacking me.
I got this sweet ass motherfucking gold flatline. Only have 20
you
bullets
smell like
for it.
shit.
I'll tell you guys after.
Okay.
Tell you guys after this. Shit.
It's interesting. It's got my interest peaked.
Well, of course it does.
Okay, guys.
You were just telling
I have
us
to go
about...
now. I have to go to school.
Alright, you
Okay.
have a good day.
Have a good one,
Guys,
Tristan.
I have to go
a good day.
now.
Okay,
I
have a good day at school. See ya later. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Learn stuff.
Bye, Tristan. Have a good day.
See ya. Bye. 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 Did you go to school yet? Bye.
Do you have a gun, Joe?
So we only killed one dude, right? Should be like 2 more at least.
Yeah,
right?
I just killed one. Yeah.
He said he had to go to school. And I'm like, alright, bye.
Is he still on the stream though?
I don't
Did he
know.
really go to school? Is he
Yeah,
still watching the
he's
stream?
playing hooky, watching my stream. I mean,
he's a fucking.
I'm alright with that.
faker.
You
I
can
need
just
a
tell his
bag.
teacher, be like, yo, I gotta watch this super cool dude.
I need heals.
Oh, you need heals? I got you, bro.
I have. Oh shit! I don't even have.
Oh, I just
vest,
thought I
bro.
saw.
need a
Thanks, bro.
vest.
I thought I saw a med kit for a sec. Thanks. Hell yeah! Thanks, bro.
Yeah, bro. Oh, I can use that. Ooh, I can use that. Ooh. Ooh.
I got a bag ass bag.
Ooh. You need a bag ass bag? There's bag.
Level 1.
Biggity bag? You want a biggity bag?
I found a bag.
Oh no, I thought I heard somebody. Never mind. Bag the ass bag.
Baggity bag bag? Baggity bag bag?
1 minute till ring close.
What guns do you guys have in case I see anything
RE45 and a
cool?
wing.
What's that noise? Is that one of those
man.
balls? Or is that a train? Gold ass fucking flatline
Not too far, but we should hustle.
ultrasonator.
It's
Where the fuck
flying
that thing
right
go,
up
dude?
there. Well, I think it's got a vault thing.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Shut a cargo box.
Good shit.
I jumped out of it because I heard it. Oh, it's over there.
Dude.
Attention, gang. Not far from the ring. We got
Vault
30
key.
seconds left.
Excuse me.
What? There's a
2X
vault key
USI.
around here.
You
Where's
just
the
picked it
vault
up.
key at?
This guy.
Is there a vault key?
Yeah, you picked
Is there
it
a
up.
vault key?
Hey, there's your U-Sight, Grimp.
I got a digital thread on the alternator. Yeah, you know what? I'll pick that up because if I find a 301, I'd still take that over the alternator. So.
Right.
Oh yeah, let's hit the
Yeah,
fucking
it's
vault.
vault time, bro.
Let's vault it up.
Vault time, bro.
boys.
Vault.
Rings moving.
What time is it? It's vault
It's
o'clock.
vault
motherfucker.
time, bitches.
Vault o'clock.
Oh, I thought I just heard something. Okay.
Hey, bro, I opened the vault.
Poo poo poo.
Knockdown shield Extended here. heavy mag here. Level 3.
Good. Zero does have something gold. Okay. I was gonna say, good Zero, you need something in gold, bro. But you got something gold.
Care package. I love these
Word. I was like, better spread it around. Oh, I got a purple heavy
Red
bag.
blood.
I already had one. I didn't mean to pick it up.
I'm keeping the flatline. Didn't mean to pick it up.
Got some 40 energy ammo too.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I grabbed the resurrection. I figured since I got the gold backpack, comes down to if I get myself up, I'll like
Yeah.
health, and then I'll save the day. Hopefully, that's the plan.
Hell
anyway.
yeah.
I don't need all this light. There's more light. And there's light in it.
light ammo here.
Could use heavy though. Not a lot. Oh, or 301.99.
I could drop
I
some
don't like the
heavy.
alternator at all.
I gotta.
Yeah, sorry, I'm low on heavy.
Oh, I
right
just
now.
picked some up
dropped
actually.
some.
There. You can have all of that.
Wait,
It
thank
was
you.
like 75 heavy ammos. Oh, I hear some shooting.
That was heavy, bro.
Let me have a little bit of this spinach dip.
No bamboozle.
The flatline.
Close range.
That likes that weird ass
Standard stock
shit.
here. Level 1.
Already got one of those bad boys.
I mean, I might as well. I was gonna keep the wing member.
Oh shit, we're about to burn in the storm, bro.
Oh fuck!
Oh,
I'll throw us a zip. I'll throw us a zip.
This
I gotta get to
sucks.
the hill though. I gotta get to the top of the hill. I'll throw us a zip.
Damn.
Grim, hold up. Or I mean, be ready. Be
well,
ready.
I'm not
Grim.
gonna stop.
Just
for
be
it.
ready.
If
No,
you can
no,
throw it
no,
and
I
I
don't
can
mean-
use it.
yeah.
I'll use it.
Oh, it's not. There we go. Oh shit! Somebody's in the storm
Yep.
right down below us, to the right.
Fuck that, I'm just getting in the storm.
Yeah, fuck it.
They
Let
can
the storm burn them while
fight
we
me
shoot
up
their
here.
ass.
Next ring isn't close.
Yeah, get some bitches.
Bringing down some destruction. Dome shield out.
Oh fuck! That airstrike's covering everything. Fucking shit.
Could use some help.
Throwing our star.
Where they at? Where they at? Oh, right there. Another one to his left.
Oh, another squad.
Got one down. Shit. Fuck. Fuck. Switch weapons. Switch weapons, you piece of shit.
Reloading.
Shit. Grenades everywhere.
Decoy escape deployed.
Duke's a
Oh my
clock.
god, climb, bitch,
Where's
climb.
he at? Woo! Hit it.
No, they see me, shit.
Somebody might be coming up behind you, Zero.
To recharge.
I'm I'm out of ammo. I'm out of ammo. I'm fucking out of ammo.
They're on this side of the rock.
Oh my god. They're
Oh.
getting him up. I got the one that got up, but down. I'm down. I have no ammo. Right here. Yeah, you got him. You got him.
Fuck y'all, bitch.
Oh my gosh. Man, my dick can only get so hard, Grim.
Oh shit.
I'll get Joe up. I'll get
the
Joe up.
med kit. Fucking like almost dead and shit. Med kits.
I'm looking to see if I have. I got a oh, okay. Whew, that shit
There should be
was.
boxes all around. We only got
Was
30
the
seconds
hotness.
though, and we have to run
160
far.
lot rounds.
So hurry up. Loot
Okay,
as
okay.
fast as you
Phoenix
fucking can.
There's a blue.
99. There has to be a
Here, right
fucking
here.
99 around here. Oh, I found one. Sweet. I'm cool. I'm a cool guy.
Yeah, just look in the boxes. There's all kinds of good shit.
More purple, John.
Body shield here. Level 2.
13 seconds. Shit, we got to fucking roll. We got.
All right. I'll throw us a zip at the top of the hill.
Oh, I barely got a chance to lose.
Give me my shields or recharge.
I'm just moving. I ain't waiting.
All right.
Whatever.
We need
Joe,
to go
I'm
like
throwing a zip.
that way.
We'll be
kinda.
with Grim. Yeah. We're right with you, Grim.
Recharging shields.
Very nice.
Kind of like there.
Attention. Delivery
Oh,
care
sweetness. Oh, did you find a gold shield?
Nah,
in
I
a
got that out of the
vehicle? I
vault.
already have one. Very nice.
Yep, I definitely
I
do.
think I hear somebody, guys.
Footsteps like to the south.
Get out there and bamboozle.
Yeah, I don't know where they're at.
Oh,
but you're
I see
right.
somebody in front of me.
Yeah, let's just get in the ring because that storm. Run, Joe, run.
Over there.
Yeah.
Hostile over there.
I'm looking, but
They're zipping up.
Target over there.
oh shit. Okay.
Flipping up. Shit. We should climb up this way. In front. Oh, you guys going
I'm
that way?
already
All right,
next
I'll
to
meet you
Joe.
up there.
Well, I was just
Meet you up
already
there.
next to
Oh,
him.
they're going up all the way up to the top of that rock shit.
Okay. Oh shit, we all gotta learn
Right.
how to climb real quick.
Like, what is.
In here.
Alright. Oh, I see him. Oh, one right there.
Oh, that kibby's down, but the caustic got me.
I'm down. Hostile close.
Oh shit,
Oh,
okay.
he's gassing me like a bitch. He thirsted me.
Got the robot. Caustic fucked me up with a shotgun. He's got a shotgun, Grim. Stay, keep your distance. Keep your distance.
What the fuck, man?
Oh, did you kill each other? No, he's getting screwed
No,
up.
I didn't fucking get him. Jesus Christ, man.
We were still way ahead on that game.
Damn, I swear I did mad damage to him. How did he die? Then fucking.
He must have had like a full 200 or something.
I did, yeah, he must have not even been hurt. I did 170 kills.
Oh, that's gay. That sucks so bad.
God
damn.
damn.
Somebody. Yeah. Oh, what? Oh, I must have been low health after I killed that robot because. Oh no, that fucker was killing me with the shotgun the whole fucking.
No, I am not doing too good.
Hey, is Joe what's his fucking? Tristan still watching your
Yeah, I
stream?
guess he left it on while he went to school, which is pretty sweet.
Oh, okay. I gotta pee real quick. I'll be right back. Are you still playing?
No.
I mean, I'm here anyway, but.
Yeah, I am.
Or I'll be right back. Oh, you got tomorrow off, right? You're right back.
Oh, is that a dude Kai? You know
No.
what I'm talking about, or no?
No idea. But what about him?
Yeah. Well, he became famous because there's like an interview with like the cops where he was, and he hitched a ride with some guy who was crazy, and the crazy guy he hitched a ride with was like killing a lady. So the dude Kai pulled a hatchet out of his bag, the hitchhiker guy, and he just like started hitting the other, killed the other dude, hit him in the head with the hatchet until he died. But it caught on because in the video it's just like, I'm Kai, straight out of Dogtown. Like some surfer guy or something. He's like, I was just like, smash, 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 and doing like hand motions with the axe. So it's like funny, ridiculous, right? And then, well, I just saw a thing like, what's Kai up to nowadays? Now he's in jail.
He never stopped smashing.
He like hitchhiked to New York. He never stopped.
Yeah.
He's in jail for murder. Yeah.
Is he really?
Yes. He went to. That's where I thought it was going to go. Just like got the
Yeah.
thirst to smash.
Yeah, he's got the taste for human blood.
But yeah. Yeah. But especially it says that he hitched a ride to New York, like hitchhiked across the country. And then in New York City, some old guy's like, "Oh, you look lost. You need help?" He's like, "Well, I'm heading to Jersey." He's like, "Oh, you stay at my house for a couple nights." So he says he went to the dude's house and then he got drugged, and then he woke up and the dude was like in bed on top of him. So he like beat this dude to death. He had like a fractured neck. His ear was hanging off. Like,
yeah, he went back to his old
But yeah, so he
superpower.
killed the dude and then.
Hatchet smash.
Yeah. But then he ran away to Philadelphia apparently. And then he got caught and now he's booked for murder, like facing life, I guess.
Wait, can you tell me a brief version of the story, dude? 'Cause I was
So
wanting
the
to hear
dude
that too.
Kai, he became popular because there was a news story done on him. He was a hitchhiker. He's like a hippie from like California. He was young, like in his early 20s or something, maybe mid 20s, 30 maybe. Anyway, he was hitchhiking, and then the dude he hitchhiked with started saying all this crazy shit. Then started like crashing into a lady, and then was like trying to kill her. And then so he rescued the lady by pulling a hatchet out of his bag and hitting the dude over the head with the hatchet until he died. And in the interview, he's like, "Yeah, I'm Kai. I'm straight out of Dogtown." Like, "What'd you do?" He's like, "Yeah, she needs help." So I was like, "Smash, smash, smash!" Like doing hand motions with the hatchet. So then he became popular for that. He was on the Jimmy Kimmel Show and shit, and the clip went viral. You know, like if you see a hot girl, people would play the GIF of him and be like, "Smash, smash, smash." You know.
Oh, I might
Anyway.
have seen one of the gifts and didn't know what it was. Okay.
Yeah, so just a little bit ago, I saw like, what's Kai up to now? He hitchhiked to New York, and some dude's like, "You look lost." He's like, "Yeah, I'm heading to New Jersey." Like, "You can stay at my house." And he woke up, and the old dude was like, had drugged him and was like raping him, and so the dude like killed the old guy and murdered him.
Yeah,
And
he
now he's
went
in
back
jail.
to smashing.
Well, that sounds suspect.
He went back to smash.
That sounds like a suspect story, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Now, the first time the guy who he was hitchhiking with, I'm sorry, I blanked out. He killed the old guy that he was hitchhiking with, not the New York guy. But
Yeah,
the,
the old guy that picked him up.
Yeah.
What happened where he took his axe?
So the old guy
yeah,
picked
tell
him
me
up,
then, the old guy that
and
picked him
then
up.
while he was in the car, the old guy like ran over some woman, and then like was trying to kill her,
Oh, he
and
ran
or he hit her with his
over
car or whatever.
So like she
and then so he was like trying to
Yeah,
kill her,
right.
and then like Kai was like smash, smash, smash with his axe to the guy's head.
He took his hatchet from him.
No,
and
I think he brought the hatchet.
So the Kai. Oh, so the Kai guy tells the cops that the old guy
was
hit the
trying to
woman
kill her, yeah.
and was trying to kill her so she wouldn't be a witness, and he killed. Oh, did the woman live or die?
I don't know.
Oh shit! Yeah,
Oh,
two guys
shit.
here, 3 guys. Oh, it's whole spot.
Cause I missed those shots.
You can hit all the next ones to their head holes.
Oh, somebody else was shooting at him. Oh, I got him. Somebody else was shooting at him, which like.
Yeah.
You see that bitch like freeze? And, like,
Hey,
stop
good try,
moving?
good try. Damn good try. Maybe. I couldn't quite tell, but that was a good damn try. Grim, did it say like if the woman that he killed the guy for trying to kill lived?
Cool story, bro.
Grim, I can't hear you.
What?
Did it say that the guy that Kai killed for trying to kill the
Did the woman
he
live?
lived?
Did the woman live?
No. Did the woman live?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So he was like
Oh,
a
okay.
hero for it. He was like in the
Okay,
mood
I was
for
starting
being a
to
hero
say-
with the smash thing. Yeah. Just
I was
look
starting
up.
to
You
say
can
if
probably
the-
just Google Kai.
Yeah.
K-A-I. Straight
Okay.
out of Dogtown, and it'll pop up. Or Kai Smash, and you'll find it. It's all over the internet. It was real big.
The only reason I said that is because. Well,
Maybe
I
he
don't
killed
know.
the
I
guy
was starting
and
to
the
say-
lady.
Yeah, exactly.
In the beginning.
Exactly.
You just made up the whole story.
but-
He's just like a serial
But like,
killer.
then again,
Must
who the fuck
smash.
picks up hitchhikers? So maybe you gotta be
he's
a
the
fucking.
hitchhiker.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm saying, like.
There's a
it's
movie about
suspect-
that, The
it's-
Hitcher, I think. With the
Oh, yeah, I've heard of
hitchhiking
that.
Yeah.
murderer.
But like, when I was younger, I picked up one or two hitchhikers, and it was okay and shit. And I buried them
Yeah.
where nobody could find them.
I picked up
But-
one hitchhiker,
No,
and
And she wanted to ride to the shore.
she fell asleep on my penis. So she didn't get a ride to the shore. She got dropped off like 2 blocks later.
You gotta tell the story. It's so funny. It's so funny. I love this story.
So,
I haven't heard this one.
man, I mean, it's been a long time since I told it. Let me try to gather all the facts. All right, so it's late, kind of. It's not super late. Maybe it's like 11 or 12, and I'm taking my buddy to his car, or to his girlfriend's car that he was driving, so he can go pick her up from work. And we stop at Wawa. Yeah, that was
Was that
Neil's.
Neil's or something?
And we stop at Wawa at Frankfurt and Meridian. And there's some chick out front with like 2 like bags, like luggage. She's got fucking luggage, and she's like asking for maybe she asked for money first. I don't remember, but she asked for like a ride. And I'm like, well, where do you gotta go? And she's like, I gotta go. I think AC. She was going down the shore somewhere, going to Atlantic City or something. And yeah,
And
no,
not
that's
close,
like
yeah, just saying, no, that's like I don't
yeah,
know,
hour and a half.
Hour and a half ride
Yeah.
at least. that
Oh
night.
yeah, I got you. Oh, I remember the Always Sunny episode where they drive to Atlantic City. So I've got a little
Oh, yeah.
context.
There you
I'm
go.
not a total.
You
I'm
got
not
it,
a
you
total
got it.
dude.
So I'm like,
Go ahead.
all right. I'm like, let me take him back. Let me take him to his car. And if you can't get a ride, I'll swing by afterwards. If you're still here and you can't get a ride, I'll give you a ride. So we get in the car, and I'm like, yo, dude, you want to take this ride with me? He's like, no, I got to go pick up my girlfriend, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, like, we're going, it's a long-ass trip. Like, how do you think she's going to pay for this? Like, dude, we can, like, get head the whole way down. Like, it's going to be fucking awesome. He's like, no, I gotta go pick her up. I'm like, all right, dude, whatever. So I dropped him off at his car, I swing back by. She's still out front. So I'm like, all right, here we go. So I pick her up. And now she's like clearly intoxicated. I don't think I noticed if.
I need a select fire. By the
Okay.
way.
I don't think I noticed if she was like all high and shit the first time. If she was, I didn't notice. But anyway, so like it's like she took something and now it has just kicked in and she's kind of fucked up. But she needs to go to AC, and I have a car that is able to go to AC, and she's got a mouth, so we're so yeah. Hey, what's up? So we go. So I pick her up. We go down. Actually, yeah. Kim doesn't know the story. No.
I should know.
Like I think she's like specifically asked me if I've ever picked up a hitchhiker, and I'm like, no, that's weird. I would never do that. So we get in the car, and we're going, start to drive, and I'm like, so you just gotta go like the AC. She's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. And then I start bringing up like, man, that's far. Like, do you have money for gas and stuff? And she's like, no, I was asking for a favor and whatever. And I'm like, well, I don't know. That's pretty far. And then, shit, how did I forget how I actually brought it up where it was obvious that it was, because like at this point, like I didn't even get on 95 yet. I like pull over. Let me think. This was I don't know, 15 years ago, right? I've been with Kim 9 years. So so alright, so yeah, so we pull over and I say something like you know what it is. You know what I mean? I don't say that. I'm not as tacky as you might think. So I'm like, yeah, you know what it is.
Straight up.
Right. So, well, I didn't say that. That was the plan. I wasn't going to AC. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna take her as far as. Yeah, I mean, I was done, and then once I was done, she was somebody else's problem, and and so we pull over, and you know. And this is like, this really got to me. So we pull over and I'm just like, I mean, like, all right, well, like, you want to ride the AC? Like, you know what this is. You know what you got to do. Stop chewing this. And then, so I unbuckle and I mean, slide my pants down and I'm like getting ready for it. And she lights a lighter and starts checking my crotch for like sores. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm thinking like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, right? Like, how dare you?
Well, like, to be honest, every time I suck a dick, I gotta look for
but
the
like,
sores first.
you're the whore, you're the prostitute here. You know what I mean? Like, and you're gonna check me? Like chances are,
she might have had a condom to slip.
Maybe,
over
but chances are, I'm gonna be the one to lose in this situation. You know what I mean? Like,
that's right. That's right.
So,
exactly.
Like, how fucking dare you? But I don't say nothing. She like uses a lighter, which was like very scary. She's like got like an open flame, like checking my crotch. So then finally, I guess it's good enough, and she gives it the okay, and she starts doing her job. And it's not very long. I mean, when I say not very long, it's like less than 2 minutes. And she's not.
Well, yeah. I mean,
no. It's less than 2 minutes, and she's no longer doing anything. So I'm like,
okay.
This is weird. I'm thinking she's like catching her breath. I don't know. So I'm like, all right. So after like 30 seconds or so, I'm like, shake her. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh yeah. So she had fallen asleep with my penis in her mouth. And then she goes back to it. And then this happens, I don't know, a handful of other times. And I have to keep waking her up. Yeah.
Are you serious?
And I have to keep waking her up. And like, hey, like,
Had a couple of Xannies.
you're here. Like, this is happening. Like, you need to, if you would.
She probably took some morphine.
She definitely took something. And in fact, you know what? She offered me something. I forget if she offered me Xannies or she offered me like perks or something. She tried to sell me something, and I was like, nope. Like, I am not putting anything out of pocket.
I'm already selling you a car ride for
Can
a
you
BJ.
guys get out over there?
Yeah. There's a door right here.
Yeah, there's a door here. Yep.
Somebody just flew in up here.
Oh yeah, I think I just saw someone up top there. Somebody's flying. Yeah, flying in again.
Where the fuck is my arc star?
Oh yeah. I see him. Yep.
Yeah, they are up
There's
top.
probably 2 or 3 squads here, so let's be
We can't throw
tactical.
throwables up there. We should just ignore
There's
them. They have a throwable blocker thing. Oh man, yeah, they're sniping us everywhere. Yeah, we should just run away from
I'm
them.
getting
Let's run to the
EMP'd.
left.
Shit.
Ooh, get EMP'd. I just got EMP'd.
Yeah, me too.
Oh shit, there's somebody on.
I got shields though. We're cool. Oh shit.
Did they drop
someone
it?
behind you,
Hold
Grim.
up. Where they at? Where they at?
Right here.
They're back there.
Okay. Okay, you got him. I'm throwing an arc star here, Coach. Hopefully that'll.
That drone's still flying around scanning us. It's above us.
Yeah, yeah. I don't fucking. Oh, I'm looking for it, but I can't see it. Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it. Got it. Got it. Got the drone. Yeah. Shit.
Alright, the shit's moving again.
Oh yeah. Here, I'll throw us a zip somewhere.
Don't get sniped.
I can't throw us.
Yeah, alright.
I am. I'm throwing us a zip.
Oh wait, did they
Take the
drop
zip,
it on
guys.
you?
Take the
Oh,
zip.
okay,
Take the
there we
zip.
go.
Take the zip.
Zip is taken.
Zippity
Oh, we got somebody right there.
There's somebody
Hey,
here.
there's a dude at the end of the line.
Right here,
Yep.
right in front of me.
Hey, I'm getting shot. Show the color for my brothers.
Broke his shield. Got him.
Yeah, I think you got him. I really need to select fire. I'm
He
gonna look
fell
for it
off,
real
but I
quick.
got him. There's a box here.
Oh, there's a 2 to 4 in there. If someone wants that shit.
Optics here. Mid-range.
And a 99.
Oh yeah, I'll take it. I'll take. And that dude that I downed fell off, and I did not kill him. So his buddies might be getting him. He fell off.
Yeah,
oh,
you're
here's somebody.
Hold
Oh,
on, Zero, I'm
here
coming. Alright.
I shot him like for about 40 or 60. He ran in this little
I
fucking
had to
building
go
down here.
flatline.
Alright, here we
All right.
Oh, we just got pulsed. Oh, that was
Okay,
you?
I
No.
jumped down to the
Somebody's
building.
right here.
I'm coming, Grim. Yeah, he's coming to your right. Good shit.
Oh,
Good
trying
shit.
to get the shield out.
That's not the dude, though, I don't think. I think the other dude ran in that little building, and I don't know where he's at now.
Alright. I'm good.
Hey, this is about our 4th game in a row with positive points, I think. Getting
Oh,
our
yeah.
groove on. We're adapting to the challenge.
I hear footsteps. Somebody's here.
The hitchhikers
There's
are
somebody.
falling asleep
Yeah.
on our
Right here.
Johnsons. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I never. Oh, the
shit, I'm
purple
getting my
shield I
gas.
picked up was empty. Shit. I'm down.
You bit?
I'm down.
Another one?
Oh,
Come up
no,
here.
I'm down too. Shit.
Oh shit, me
Zero,
too.
I
Oh
can
my
get
god.
myself up. You can distract them. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm trying
shit.
to distract you. I'm over here. There's two
No.
of them. There's 2 of them. There's fucking 2 of them.
Back
Fuck. Oh, we hit. Hey, we were top 4, guys. I'm sure we did fine. I mean, I want to win. Don't get me wrong, but as long as
I
we're
don't
coming
think
out
I've been positive
I mean,
once. Maybe now I will be.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I think I've been positive 4 games in a row, I think. I'm still less than what we started with, but I'm more than what we got.
Positive
knocked down
31
to.
on that.
I'm 99 points
I
away.
am.
Nice.
You got
Shit.
positive 31 or
31.
negative 31?
But that's the first game I've been positive. It's the first game I've had a kill.
Wait, why did Zero's thing say level 300?
Well,
What
'cause
the fuck is that?
Oh,
Did you see it?
Because
see
you
that.
we
yeah, I just reached
Mine doesn't
200.
we
I
can
guess.
it goes up to 500 now.
Maybe it's because you're
Yeah,
beyond
500
200.
experience.
I'm over level 200.
Maybe that's the reason. Maybe I just reached 200 and it gives you a little fucking inaugural thing for it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm 215. Oh, okay. Yeah. If you
You'll
click
probably
it-
get one at 300 or 250
Yeah,
or
this
something.
is actually what my green outline, that's what 215s looks like. Okay.
So what is
yeah, okay,
my
cool.
level? I don't see it. I don't know.
Level purple.
So was that the end of the
No. So
Snow White
so
voice?
she's
Yeah,
falling
yeah.
asleep, falling asleep, and I'm waking her up, waking her up. And finally I'm just like, this is a lost cause. Like you know what I mean? Like it gets to the point where at the end I'm waking her up by just like pushing her head down and like choking her. Like and so like I don't know, like I've fallen asleep during a lot of things, and like today I fell asleep in the cash room, and like when my phone went off the text, like I woke up and I was kind of startled and like what like oh shit, like, and I'm thinking like maybe they see me, like all these things are going through my head, like where am I? I'm trying to get my bearings. I couldn't imagine waking up in a dark car. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if she can, like, see anything. She just wakes up and opens her eyes. Maybe, I guess she sees, like, my thighs or whatever. And, like, there's a penis in my mouth. And just, like, wake up and be like, what is going on?
Yeah, you're jumping.
Why is there...
She's probably
Train.
like,
If
oh,
you train.
another day, another dollar.
Train. Jump for train. Jump for train.
Oh, I didn't
Right
know I
there.
jumped my
If you have a respiratory system,
It's straight down, straight down, straight down, over here.
Yes, this is what
Straight
I'm
down,
supposed
the
to
train.
be doing.
Well, I see, okay.
But yeah, and then eventually it's just like, it's a lost cause. I give up. And
Oh, God. I have 2 health left. Not even 1 health, maybe. I had to jump off.
I got a blue bag, that's it.
Oh, shit.
I'm
Oh,
going
getting
over.
beaten down.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Getting shot. Getting beaten down.
I'm executed.
I hit with 1 peacekeeper shot and with
Let's just see
99
what
damage.
happens. I mean, it's a ranked game,
Yeah.
so we might as well try our best. Oh, fuck. I'm a dead man.
Are your boxes
Yep,
still on the
mine is.
train?
Oh, Grim's alive? Okay, good shit.
No fear.
Grim is
I will
here.
Definitely. Oh wait, your boxes look like they fell off the
Oh,
train.
wait. So, like, what you said?
Oh
it
yeah,
was a
so
lost cause.
it's a
I'll see
lost
if I can
cause,
find
and I
it.
give up on it. I'm
Is
just
that
like, all right,
blue?
I'm just, she's done. I'm just gonna drop her off.
Like, shoved her over to the
So
passenger
well,
window.
I decide like she's like she can't stay awake for more than like 30 seconds or 20 seconds. So I'm like, she needs a coffee. Like she's gonna get fucked up. Like she's either gonna get robbed or raped or you know what I mean like. So I took her to 7-Eleven.
Fall asleep giving us
Yeah.
a blowjob.
So I take her to 7-Eleven and I buy her a coffee. You know what I mean? Buy her $1 coffee. And then
I'm not like that.
It's worth it to get
well,
your dick
no,
sucked,
it was
I'd
not.
say.
It was terrible.
Oh, so did you go
Yeah.
to get a coffee?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't to completion, so
Yeah, maybe
I
bought her the coffee, but like at that point, I already figured it's done. I mean, whatever. So, we go in. She's having a hard time. I get the coffee, pour it, make it, buy the coffee. She like won't stop talking to the fucking counter guy at 7-Eleven at Tyson and Roland. So we've only made it like
Probably wants to see if he'll give her a ride.
8 blocks or 10 blocks, maybe. And that's because like I parked somewhere around there because it was dark. So like,
Oh yeah, okay.
yeah, now she won't stop talking to this dude, and like she's got her fucking luggage in my car, so like I can't just leave. I was about to just like leave with her stuff, but I'm like, she's got to be like so down. Like she was telling me that she was like
Sure.
she was going to AC because they had some sort of like open call for Playboy or some shit. And she was gonna go try to make it in there.
I take it she didn't look
No,
like
she did
Playboy
not.
material.
Nope, not even a little bit. And yeah, so she won't stop talking to the dude. I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, come on. Like, and he can see I'm getting like annoyed, and he's like trying to like tell her like, okay, I'll see you later, and she just like keeps on like telling him the story about like how she's gonna make it in Playboy and like all this shit. Yeah, it just like wouldn't stop. And then
kidding me? Oh,
yeah.
God, what a dumb bitch.
And then so I'm like, well, I can't just like leave with her stuff. I'm like, maybe I should just like dump her shit out on the sidewalk and like leave.
Yeah.
But I wound up, and I was really thinking about that. I was really thinking about just like leaving it out front of 7-Eleven and leaving. But I didn't. I wound up taking her to like another Wawa, couple blocks away. So she made it like, and like if you're on Frankfurt Ave, it's the next Wawa. So like she made it Wawa to Wawa, and gave probably the worst blowjob of her life for it. And dropped her off, wished her luck, and never saw her again. Yep.
Should have stayed awake. Could have went to AC.
No,
Yeah, she wasn't making it at AC.
You could have been Donald Trump's ex-wife, you bitch. Now you fucked up.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
Damn, dude, that's fucked up. When you first said fell asleep on my penis, I was worried that you were about to reveal that you were a secret rapist, but luckily it didn't turn out like that.
No, I kept waking her up. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I mean, if she initially agreed to the blowjob and then fell asleep and you didn't wake her up, it wouldn't be a rape act. I mean, it's all that's required is the initial agreement, in my mind. I mean,
well,
you know,
there was also those pills you crushed up and put in a drink. What were they? Which one of these pills again? I mean, you can't leave that part out, Jeff.
That's called the roofies. The roofies coffee.
yeah, I think they were called the rape aids. I think.
Did you guys ever watch Arrested Development?
I heard it was good though.
Well, it's a pretty funny show. It's on Netflix, you know, incidentally, but it's about this kind of rich family, but they're real scandalous and shit. And like, this one brother always goes to like Tijuana or something to get rupees, but it's not so he can pump women to. Oh, I'm gonna shut up all grim murders, dudes.
Oh my god, there's so much shit going on here.
Yes.
Get him.
Burn him.
You're almost top 10.
Want that you say?
Top 10.
Hell
So
yeah.
you're still just negative 14.
Trying to look at the glasses half full right now. Thank you.
Yeah, I am. Like, you're only negative 14. Congratulations.
Check for that perp armor, bro.
Burning sticks.
Bernie
Always need
stick.
them.
Oh yeah.
I need a heavy mag.
Bernie stick, Bernie stick, it's the Bernie stick, Bernie stick, Bernie stick, ba ba da ba da. Yep.
There's somebody.
We're the one.
Oh shit.
I got
Whoa.
raped. They knew exactly
Dude, what
where I
did
was
even?
somehow.
Dude, we looked at your death recap
Oh,
because
man.
that was like a half second, bro. It's like a half fucking second from 175.
It says 84 TKN, 14 TUS, 42 TKN, 18 TUS, 14 TKN, 18 TUS.
Damn, what weapons was it?
Prowler, I guess Select Fire, and Havoc.
Damn, that was quick. Dude, I was specking you the whole time. And it was like the one dude runs onto your screen and then you strafe or whatever, and the second dude comes on your screen, and it was just like, bam, you were fucking dead, dude. I mean, it was like less than a second. It seemed unbelievable they could kill you that quick.
Insta death. Yeah.
Insta death.
But yeah, this dude on that fucking show, he gets these roofies, and it's not to put women to sleep. It's like he's such like a morally bankrupt dude that like he'll do stuff that makes him feel guilty. So he'll take a roofie as soon as he does it, and he'll go to sleep, and he'll wake up and forget that he did something bad.
No, yeah.
He calls them forget-me-nows.
That's pretty sweet.
So he doesn't have to feel
what is that
bad
from?
about his Arrested Development. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. And in one of them, the dude that does that, like, he's like kind of like a womanizer in a way. But he's like a shitty amateur magician, and he kind of falls in love with this other shitty amateur magician that's also a dude. And like his brother comes in and like sees him coming down the stairs after he's like, I guess, fucked this other dude that's a magician. Oh, got fucking kicked out. God damn it. Oh.
Alright. No, I canceled.
You just got booted.
Yeah, I canceled the
cool
thing
beans.
so we can get Zero back. Probably only gonna play one more. I'm getting pretty tired, and I need to.
Yeah,
I need to make sure that I gotta get up at 6:30.
Yeah.
Gotta get Kim up, and then I gotta either stay up or get back up at like 8, so I can finish this bookcase.
Damn, that bookcase is the bane of
I
your
know.
existence.
Well,
bro.
it was a Christmas present. You see how well that turned out.
Yeah, like I said, Valentine's Day. I'd make an Easter present or some shit, or possibly a next year Christmas present. As a matter of fact, if you make it a Christmas present for next year, it'll still be a Christmas present, so it's really more.
Yeah, but then like I'd have to make like
whatever you're
2
feeling.
or something.
Yeah. Well, I would just make a bookcase and then a couple of bookends, and then it'd still be like 2 gifts. But whatever you're feeling.
I almost bought one of these. Actually, I almost bought a couple of them just because it'd be easier.
If you buy like an buy an IKEA bookcase and get your wood burner and put by Joe in Little Writing on like the bottom shelf.
Well, they had some pretty decent ones
A Joe
at my
original.
work that I was gonna get, but Kim had already sent pictures to her, so she knew what it looked like. So I had to be careful about which one I would get.
Send me a picture of that when you get done with it.
Yeah,
I'd be interested to see it.
hopefully tomorrow it'll be done. And at the moment it's going to be 7 foot tall, which I may cut down and trim it. So and I've never made a ladder shelf, and that's part of what the problem is.
Oh, so you actually made this book?
Yeah, I started to. Yeah, I made like.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I had no idea like how I was gonna mount the shelves and stuff. So like all that, like once I had like the back part built, like the 2 back legs and the beams going across it. Then like I started brainstorming from there on how I'd attach the shelves and shit. So I'm not 100% of what's going to happen, but
You get little brackets that go in holes.
yeah. Well, I thought about I don't want to do screws. I did think about doing like dowels, but I don't have a whole lot of they're like 1x3s basically, one by 3s of oak. So like I could put dowels in it, but it just I think would be a lot of work. And I also wasn't sure if I was gonna do like the shelves themselves were gonna be one piece of whatever, like one piece of plywood, or one
right here.
or a couple pieces of like strips of the oak, or how I was gonna do it. So
How tall is this?
at the moment it's gonna be 7 foot, but I might trim that
Oh, that's
down
a good size. Yeah.
to like 5 foot. Because who needs a 7 foot tall bookcase?
Yeah, either one's good. I mean, that's a lot.
Oh, how mad are you?
Oh, way to go, JoJo.
Yeah, this lifeline was messing me
I got
up.
one in front of me. I got 2 in front
Oh,
of me.
same thing just happened to me, except I had like no life.
I'm running.
But that lifeline was messing me up, and then
I got an alternate, but I only got
I just like one shot of there.
extra. Oh god.
I killed an enemy.
I got 2 guys on me over here. They're fighting each other too. I'm coming, Grim.
Faking him out with a decoy.
Oh shit! It was a battle royale, bitch. Yeah, Grim. There's 2 in there fighting each other. Just save yourself if you can, bro.
Fuck. All right, I am completely useless.
No, hold up. Shit's going good. I hear somebody else. Grim, I hear somebody else. I'm looking. Oh, right. Hey, it's a
Wraith.
fucking
Are they
Wraith.
in here?
No, they were over there where I'm marked, but they're probably coming around to you. Yeah, don't worry about getting me up. Just I'll crawl to a safe spot. You just save yourself.
I need the bullets.
Oh,
bitch.
did you just poop on somebody? Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Alright. Let's go get Joe's banner. I need light bullets, though. Fuck.
I got light
Here's
bolts in
the
my.
syringe, bro.
Oh, I got one. Oh, here we go. Someone else is hiding. Turbocharger, that'll help.
Yeah,
light
in my
bullet.
box.
I'll be right behind you. I'm just trying
Well,
to heal.
just wait there. Wait there and bring Joe back. Just wait by the respawn.
Okay. Okay.
Alright, good.
Okay.
Oh, you don't have any light bullets.
Hell
Oh, they must have taken them.
yes.
Alright, I'm
I
coming
hear
back.
somebody up.
Back
I
up.
don't know if that's a. I don't know if
the
that's the
ship
fireworks.
that you just called
yeah.
in.
No, it was something else, but I think it was the fireworks. Yo, Grim, here's a box
Thank
of
you.
okay, Joe needed it, yeah. I picked up some Grim because I only had like a few rounds in my alternator, but
No.
got 12 rounds in the alternator, 7 in the Eve 8. That's why I
Alright, well, here. Here,
There's
you
Eva bullets
you can take that back. I got rid of the, I'm not running light. I'm not running light.
No, I got some shoddy. I got 13 shoddy. Well, let Grim have it because he was wanting light.
Okay.
I got 13 in the Eva and 12. in the
Yeah,
ultimate.
I grabbed that RE45, but I put that back. So here, I'll give you these 20 bullets, Graham.
There you go. I found a flat line, so you can use these light bullets in the meantime till we find more.
The next ring. I smell victory. It smells Cali. I can put half for dinner.
Oh, there was a heavy mag somewhere in your box, maybe. Somebody, yeah.
In my box?
Use that heavy. Yeah, I grabbed it. It was a heavy mag. Did I say
no,
light?
no,
I
you
meant heavy mag.
said heavy.
White heavy mag. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing left here. We should go somewhere, I guess.
All right. Yeah. What are you all thinking?
Oh no. Oh, that was all looted out there too. Shit. Maybe
Oh,
we should
shit.
Move in.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good to me.
All right. The barn was looted, you said?
All right.
Yeah, it looks looted.
Oh, there's somebody right here. Shit.
Oh shit. Okay, I'm with
I'm
you.
a little
I'm
bit
with you.
behind.
I am taking fire, friends.
Broke his shield. Hit him a couple more times. Oh shit. I'm trying to move.
Repairing.
I'm healing, but I hit him about.
I thought I heard him over here.
Anyway, I broke his
I don't
shield.
know where they are now. I can't even tell what's going on. Shit. I guess they ran away.
Oh, they're throwing
another-
grenades.
I'm coming. Yeah. Fucking.
Robot down to me. Shit.
Shit.
Oh, shit. Robot doing robot shit.
Oh, I'm out.
Oh, he's got more fucking shit. I thought it was just a robot. God damn it. He's coming. And someone threw a grenade from behind, too.
I had no ammo. I didn't know what to do. I was hoping I could get Grim up and
Yeah.
have ammo.
That bang was probably still hiding.
shit.
Oh,
Hey,
well.
we got 4 kills and number 12 anyway.
Let's move this way.
Yeah, I think I only lost little points. Let me see.
Yeah, I
-4.
had minus 14, but still dope.
Yeah, I think I'm right around where we started. I don't know.
You got one more.
I'm done. I'm pretty tired.
Alright.
Yeah,
I'll be on
I'm
tomorrow.
gonna get something
I mean,
to eat too.
okay. I was starting to say, Grim, if you want to play one more, I'll play one more non-ranked with you, but if you're ready,
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm pretty tired and fucked up too. So
Yeah, I'm gonna
Alright.
eat, go to sleep. Definitely.
Alright.
Yeah,
See you guys
tomorrow's
tomorrow.
Fat Boy Friday.
I'll see
So,
you guys.
Or
yeah, I'll be
soon,
on tomorrow.
whatever.
so
Plan to
if
see
you
you
guys
soon,
are
yeah.
available.
Alright, cool. Me too.
All right, fellas, adios.
Alright, see you
Well,
guys.
I'll see you guys.
Adios,
Later.
amigos.
Alright, yeah, and I'm like actually about to like fall asleep. So, thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. New setup. Got a big ass shot at me. I kind of like it. It's working out, I think. My handsome motherfucker. Anyway, thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. I apologize for the singing and the bickering and the annoying shit that went on earlier. I'm also trying to not curse so much, so I don't really like when they curse so much, but it is what it is. But yeah, thank you for coming out. I really do appreciate it. It means the world to me. You could be anywhere, and you choose to be here with me, hanging out on a Thursday night. I will be back tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, for some Fat Boy Free Play Fridays. Shout out and a big thanks to Zero for the games. Thanks to Grim for the games. Thanks to Tristan for coming in the party. And thanks for all the engagement I'm getting on the Instagram. I didn't put a post out today, which I'm kicking myself for, but definitely will tomorrow. And try to do something every day, whether it's art or video games or whatever. Just post something a couple times a day. I need to get more on that. Also, I made a commitment to draw every day in a new year, and I've fallen off of that. The comic that I was planning on doing is now taking a back seat to everything. But tomorrow, busy day. Maybe I'll stream or I'll film some of the shelf building. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so check me out on my socials. It's Mechanic on all socials except Twitter. It's Mechanic G. Also follow Zero Logic Gaming with a K on Instagram and Facebook. If you're going through some of this, follow my buddy the Zeddy. He's a good dude, good streamer. He's actually a great dude, good streamer, good friend. Armored Ozzy, Armored_Ozzy, good friend, good kid, great streamer. Yeah, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Thank you for coming out. To those who didn't come out,